Here we are again, being consistent as we are in this thing we call podcasting. Welcome to Good Earners, reviewing The Sopranos, where we like to talk about family, finessing, finances, and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and a black perspective. We got my man Rich, I call him Big Rich Town, and my man Spike Lou. How you fellas doing today?
Oh,
Doing well, my brother. Doing well. How you doing? How you feeling?
It's all a big nothing.
No. What are we doing this for?
I wish the Lord would take me down.
Don't start crying like Uncle Junior this
Take me
episode. Don't start crying like Uncle Junior.
Don't get me started. But no, nonetheless, we thank y'all for returning for another episode. For those that are new, man, just go ahead, strap on your seatbelt like Phil Leotardo should have done, and get ready because our episode is wild. That's what we do here on Good Earners. So, as y'all usually know, we like to acknowledge the supporters of ours. Before we get started, not as many emails this week. I'm sure the listeners can be happy about that. So we'll dive in here quickly. One is a YouTube comment from Sopranos LTP, which is, I followed them on Instagram, one of the great meme pages, but they said, gentlemen, I finally found you guys on here. I'm going to catch all the way up. They sent the 2 swords and the glass of liquor. I don't know what the 2 swords mean.
That just means,
sharp shot.
Salute.
Oh, I think that's kind of like,
I always take that like a salute.
Salute. Okay. Well, shouts out to
finally found us. Like, were they searching?
I don't know. I mean, we follow each other on Instagram, and like I always acknowledge, like, yo, you put out some of the best memes, like, consistently. So, very, very glad that Sopranos LTP Long Term Parking found us. So, shouts out to that individual.
Covering that episode soon.
Yeah. And then our last email, Kayori the Okapi. This is our Japanese friend. He says, my Broken Balls Award goes to the Asian people as a whole, obviously referencing our last episode. Kim was played by Henry Yuck, who is a Chinese American and born in Brooklyn. I felt he was doing the Asian version of Minister. What is it? Minstrel
show.
Okay.
Minstrel show.
Yeah, he's super hip hop. Yeah, that's deep. Minstrel with the accent. I bet he's a nice guy and a great actor, but dude sounded like Elmer Fudd more than a Korean immigrant. The most Korean thing about this character was his Cobra hat in the scene where he got his ass beat. Spike Lou might know this because it's a golf brand. LOL.
Yep, it is. Go.
But Paulie's line of remember Pearl Harbor always has me dying because how over the top racist it was. Probably my favorite line of the season. Fun fact, Liza Lapira, who played Kim's daughter, is Filipina American and just got a Disney check for being in Inside Out 2, which dropped this year.
Yeah. Shout out to her, man. I know I've recognized her in something. I think she was in 21. The movie with Lawrence Fishburne and Kevin Spacey was in it. I'm pretty sure she was one of the. I'm about to look it up now. But you know what? Was that the rest of the email? My bad.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Yeah.
It's funny that he says that because that over the top racism is what we always joke about and laugh about. If you've been following us for quite some time and listening for quite some time, Spike wasn't even on the episode, but their episode when they were stealing the Mercedes for Tony.
Oh, still.
Black dudes, when the black dudes stole that dude Mercedes
still
with the family, that nigga, that might be the hardest laugh I've had with racism when that white dude said, fucking niggers.
Bro.
Because the way he was so
and then his wife wanted him to be politically correct after the fact that, like,
the whole family jumped like they couldn't believe you said that shit. Hey, that shit was so
it's
funny.
Crazy, man.
Like, y'all wildin', man.
Yo, Kayori will.
Hey, listen, hold on, time about whoa, Spike. These niggas say, man, David Chase, they funny as hell.
Yeah.
Keisha is the like equivalent of what you relate. When you hear the word Keisha, you automatically think black woman, right? These niggas took it over the top and named the episode Kaisha. They took Keisha and made it even more.
Yeah, Kaisha. Like that's how you don't know black people's in a row, because it should have just been Keisha. Like they put Kaisha.
They put Kaisha. Nah, they probably knew it. They like, we're gonna take this even further. We want to be all the way there with it.
Nah.
I can't wait to talk about Kaisha.
I know. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Kaisha, man. There's a lot of things I can say right now, and I'm not. But nonetheless, Coyote, thank you for hitting us back. And I love him representing his ethnicity. Those are the people that are the most qualified to speak to it. Not that anybody else can't. So I understand that feeling. Like that was a core feeling. Like we're not being overly deep here, but you definitely understand like how they play it up. Obviously, we know Sopranos. It's a drama. It's a suspense. It's a comedy. However you want to categorize it. So they're playing it up, of course. But anybody's qualified is definitely somebody from that same region. So that concept, that whole thing, because we go hard about, like, I'm like, could y'all cast any, like, y'all know how I felt about Maurice, when they were doing the HUD scam. I'm like, man, could y'all find a better looking brother, please? Like, why do y'all got us out here looking like this? Or even the two crackheads or whatever. But that's whatever. So, but nonetheless, man, we thank you, Coyote. And of course, man, we got to always shout out our man Chris Falone, man. He's flooded us with the jokes all the time.
Always.
So, Spike Lou, what episode are we reviewing today?
This episode is season 5, episode 7, entitled In Camelot. And I hope y'all can hear me well, man. I'm really self-conscious about how the mic sounds and shit like that. So
trash ass mic.
I don't have my
Everybody write in and joke about how trash Spike Lou's mic is his episode. So you can laugh his way out of it.
Hey, Rich, it's pissing me off so bad.
Hey, Spike, it makes no sense. If you guys couldn't see Spike, obviously you couldn't because we weren't recording.
Yeah.
Spike,
oh my God.
Spike's face about his mic not working is the same face a little kid has on a field trip when he pisses his pants. Like, he's just embarrassed.
It's pissing me off so bad because it don't make no sense that it's not picking up, and it usually does, and I don't know what to do to fix it. However, this is episode 7 in season 5, entitled In Camelot. Tony meets up with one of his dad's friends at a funeral. JT and Chris try to support each other post-addiction, and Junior is going to random funerals to avoid cabin fever. Also, Johnny Sack rules against Phil in favor of Tony, and Phil is not happy about it. This is season 5, episode 7, entitled Camelot.
And we break up a couple of dollars. Hey, here, pay your phone bill, get your microphone.
Spike Lou, hey, y'all, Spike Lou's microphone is
all right, I'm done jamming that shit. Because I know it's like, so
y'all don't even understand how mad I am.
I know, that's why I'm doing it.
I am so pissed off.
I know, bro. That's why I'm doing it.
It makes no sense at all.
I believe it alone, though, man. When technology be technology in.
Oh my God!
He said I'm not.
Bro, I'm so mad right
You're good. You really don't sound like what you think, though. Don't worry about it. For real, it's cool. Just forget it forget it ever happened. The first scene.
Well, hold on. Before we get into the first scene, Mo.
Yes, absolutely.
Real quick, so I do want to have this conversation with you guys briefly, just to get your thoughts. Don't have to spend a ton of time on this, but in Camelot, as a lot of loyal Soprano watchers and Good Earner listeners know, it's considered one of the worst episodes of the series. It's one of the, if you look at, most ratings and you look at the episodes, the 3 lowest rated episodes of The Sopranos are usually A Hit is a Hit, Columbus, and Camelot. Just want to know your brother's thoughts about how would you rank those 3 episodes, and if you agree about In Camelot being one of the worst episodes of The Sopranos. And just want to send a quick caveat to all those listening and watching. The worst episode of The Sopranos is better than 93% of television. Yeah. So I just want to make sure I say that. It's not a diss, but when we're comparing itself to itself, it is, they consider this one of the worst 3. Out of those 3 episodes I named, which one, how would you rank it? And would you agree that this does deserve to be in the bottom 3? Or is there an episode missing that you think is just as, not good? Spike, I know how you feel about the dream sequences, but let's talk about it.
Chasing It is probably one that should be in that conversation, but it's probably 4th, 5th, 6th, maybe. So I think first off, a hit is a hit. There'll never be no slander on this show. I told y'all that. A hit is a classic. I don't care what y'all
classic
talking about.
Is strong.
Hey, it went classic in the hood. All right, it went classic on the bootleg. But nonetheless, if I were to be objective,
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, you are. Chasing It is, and that rounds out that Mount Rushmore. These are all episodes that got a rating of 8 or less, or excuse me, not 8 or less, but less than an 8. The only 4 episodes to give a rating less than an 8 out of 10 were those 4 episodes. You add Chasing It into it, so you're right.
Columbus is really bad.
I don't mind Columbus as much.
But this is
Gary Cooper. Gary Cooper's gay. No, what did he say? He's gay, Gary Cooper.
Columbus was really bad, and it was a Silvio led episode. And it was really weak. This is at least Tony. At least Tony's leading it, so he's still, rest in peace, James Gandolfini, giving us still greatness even in a terrible episode. A hit is more of a Christopher led story, and then Chasing is a Tony one. So I would have to. The only way I could do this is probably I would have to say a Columbus is the worst, and then I'd probably say a hit is a hit. Then I'd say this one, and then Chasing It. So Chasing It is the best one out of those 4, in my opinion. But we'll see when we revisit that episode.
What's Chasing?
Chasing is the best one.
What season?
That
season
is
6. The Rent.
Yeah, where he was gambling crazy and he was doing coke. Yeah, he was just going crazy on that.
Had Hesh front him that bread.
Yeah, that's got to be the best one still.
Hesh thought he was about to come over and pop him.
Yo, Bobby was talking wild too, boy.
Hey, what the fuck he gonna do? Hey,
it's so bully mode. So what you?
The boss of the family not paying his debt. What's that look like, huh?
Yeah. So what you thinking, Spike? So now you remember all 4 of those episodes?
Yeah, for me, of all 4 of those, it would be Columbus.
It's
like
the worst.
Columbus is just like, what are we doing here? Like this, it's in the world, but it don't really make sense to what we came here for. This episode is bad, but I think the points that we hit on all of the other, like when we talked about this early in the season, as far as Hesh not expecting to leave, and then he did leave, and they probably had to scramble to get some storylines together. This episode, Feach, this episode makes sense in the sense of, okay, we're going to build Phil out to be the main villain or the villain that Tony is going against. So this episode ain't as bad as those other ones, but it is still bad.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think Camelot's the worst, or in Camelot, should I say, is the worst. I do think that Columbus is the worst. I enjoy Columbus more than probably the average person.
I still
it's
enjoy
a lot of
it,
subtle. It's a lot of subtle humor. We talked about it when we did our Columbus episode. Just some of the things you see characters. I still haven't seen Seal act like that.
No,
you know what I mean. There was like the one-off throughout. I mean, there's a couple anger moments throughout. His tenure on the show, but I just didn't buy it. The last scene was classic to me. Tony going off in the car because I've been that person just fed up about some bullshit. Like, we out here for your bullshit. You about to call Frankie Valli? Like, nigga, fuck you. All of that was funny, but outside of that, it's not the best. And at least in Camelot, I had some moments where I'm just, anytime you get some good Phil Leotardo time, no matter what he's doing.
Yeah. So what's the best one out of those?
That saved this episode. This one?
I think this is the best out of them.
Because of the Phil stuff.
I will say the most cringeworthy moment of the Sopranos history happens in this episode.
That is in my notes, and we all know what that is. That is in my notes. I literally wrote verbatim that in caps.
Mr. President.
So you
can't get around it. You can't get around it. So I think that's why people take this a lot. But
so it's like this one or Chasing It.
My issue with Chasing is the ending of the episode.
See, I got it. When we get there, I'll revisit that.
It just didn't make sense. Yeah, it just didn't make sense. Remember, something happened to Hesh. And it was like, what? It was just weird.
Like, what are we? Okay, I got you. What are we supposed to believe?
I would say, I guess it would be this one. Chasing It. A hit is a hit. And then Columbus.
And it's crazy we call it Columbus because it's actually Christopher.
Christopher, yeah, yeah,
that's what we do, black people. We
it is.
You forever,
yeah,
whatever we
you know
name
what I'm
it.
saying?
Yeah.
What time? Hey, remember back in the day? What time Urkel come on? Niggas, Family Matters.
Exactly.
Don't get my fault. I didn't try to get more.
Bro, what page 5 on?
Yeah, what page 5 on all that shit. So,
yeah. So, but we jump into our first scene, man. Thank you, Rick, for bringing that up. I love a little banter like that. That's great. That's a great. Appreciate that. We jump right in at Livia's old house, which is now Janice's house, and Tony and Janice, they're having a conversation. I guess they're picking up from their last little scuffle that they had. I thought it was adorable seeing the brother and sister had a conversation. It definitely gives you the vibe that, like, hey, they've done this all their life. They've had these getting really physical with each other as siblings, and she's used to it. And that's why I think when we get to Soprano home movies, things resonate a little differently because of this moment right here, just like how their relationship is something you don't understand. But what did y'all gather from this scene?
Don't tell that shit to Bobby.
Right.
Yeah, this was and just quick correction before they say it in the comments. This is Tony's house. This is where Tony's living.
Janice right. He ain't back. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, my bad. Thank you.
Yeah. So I love getting I've said this numerous times if you listen to the Culture Garden. I like being thrown into a conversation, not just an episode, just a conversation. Like when you open the episode and you could tell they were having this in the car. They walking in having this conversation, and we just get smacked in the middle of it. Her saying, you can't just say whatever come to your mind. That shit about the roadies. Like, come on, man. Like, my husband in front of me. Like, calm down. And it is a good foreshadowing to Soprano home movies because it is that glimpse into their relationship. And they both are aware. Mo, you always like to point out at the end of season 2, they're both aware that they're not like the other people. They have dark sense of humor. There's even a moment at the end of the series when something big happens to Janice, and Janice says something, and she looks at Tony and says, "You're the only one that would laugh at that. Like, you're the only one that gets that that's a joke."
Yeah.
So if you're on the outside, you don't know how complex and dark and loving at the same time Tony and Janice's relationship is. And when you got people like Bobby who don't know that, it's easy for them to jump out the window on some, hold on, bro. But there's been moments where you have to look at the situation and be like, man, what I'm gonna say? If the person that's being talked to that way ain't got a problem with it, what am I gonna say?
What can I do?
Yeah. So I agree. It was just cool. Go ahead, Spike.
No, I was just gonna say I agree with everything that you were saying in the sense of, especially quoting the scene that happened later on in the series. Like, you're the only person that would have got that. Here they're building that foundation of, like, this is what Tony and Janice do. Like, they're like, everybody else can take it personal and they can fight about it, and it can be this big thing, but this is me and my sister, and this is how we get down. So
there's a lot of people that wouldn't talk for the rest of their lives because of the comments.
And you know what, man? I ain't talked about it in a while, but I love stuff like this, man. Because families are just different. Everybody's family is just different. And I love, like, this is our thing. Me and Janice, this is our thing. This is what we do. We might, fall out, but we gonna piece it back up. This is our thing. This is what we do. We've been doing this for a long time. She pisses me off, but at the same time, I'm gonna put on a Santa hat. I'm gonna make this dude look bad for ever putting his hands on my sister. Like, that is their relationship. Like, all right, Janice, you want to try to do this here? Just take Ma's house. Just get out of my face. And now they, back at Ma's house, and he's staying there now. And if it wasn't for her, he wouldn't even kept the house around. So it's their relationship. It's so deep, and it's so believable when you talk about siblings. We look down on it, but at the end of the day, it's their thing, man. And I can appreciate any family that is like, hey, this is our thing now. Sometimes, people be on some trash, but I can appreciate this. So it's a subtle thing. And we find out that they had a pet dog named Tippy. So this is what we're starting to get into. We start getting into, like, the early, the gems are being planted, more and more of the psychology of Tony Soprano with Tippy, Corset, the gorilla at the zoo, the ducks at the pilot. We're about to start. This is where we turn the corner now. Like, the real effect on it, this is where it turns the corner. And Tony gets a call from, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I love those moments when, as you get older, if you have siblings, especially if you're close in age, I love those moments when my whole point of saying that, excuse me, to start that was that it doesn't matter about certain things when you get older. You know, if you're 30, you 38 and 35, it ain't that big of a deal. But if you kids and you're 8 and you're 5, or you're 9 and you're 6, one of you can understand things a lot better than the other one doesn't. Mm-hmm. So even though them being close in age, Janice being the older sibling, she knew exactly what happened to Tippy. While Tony's out here thinking, I just love those little nuggets when you like, oh, that age gap does mean something in this sense. Like you miss some of the shit that I knew about. Like as the older sibling, I got all the dirt. I got all the information. Like there's just things I know that you will never know. And that's just one of the benefits of being an older sibling. Mo, I'm sure you can probably
good point.
Understand that. Even though all y'all are,
stair steps.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right. And we got that flashback in the earlier season where we seen Janice got to roll out with, Johnny. Like Tony didn't get to roll out with him like that. Like, and we'll get a flashback here that kind of symbolizes certain things like that, even though Tony was a little older. But Janice got to roll with him, so she definitely seen more things than he did. I mean, now Johnny was using it for certain finesses, but still, she got to witness. So you're absolutely right in that. But yeah, Tony gets a phone call and finds out that a family member had died, and we immediately go over to the funeral.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on. We gotta spend just a quick second. Mm-hmm. Tony and animals. We talked about it. Mm-hmm. Tony's reaction about that dog. Like he's more upset about this than visibly about his marriage falling apart.
Facts.
Like, oh yeah, he had worms, they had to take him out to the farm. Bobby, like, man, they get 17, must be 17 billion dogs at that farm. Dog shit to the rafters. Janice told him, like, ain't nothing happening. The look of disappointment, like in his face, like, what? Like, I can't believe it. As a grown man, there's some things
we ain't got nowhere yet.
Yeah, we ain't got nowhere yet. But as a grown man, him looking off in the sky, like, damn, for real, that's what happens to my dog. Like, bruh, like I know this ain't affecting your grown ass in your 40s,
bruh. Yeah, man.
I just had to mention that.
I will speak really more to it in a later scene because you're on to something. Really, but
my fucking dog.
I feel like I've been stabbed in the heart. But yeah, we go over to the funeral. Father Phil is, obviously conducting it. Uncle Junior is trying. Tony says, "Hey, look. I'm gonna pay respect to Pops, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go over to the grave site, go, spend some time with him for a moment." And Uncle Junior pretty much ain't hearing. He's like, "Bro, I got 5 hours of release." He's like, "Man, I can go see him anytime, bro. He don't care nothing about the tombstone. Like, nigga, I got things to do, bro. I'm on house arrest. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying?" But we find out Junior's memory is improving too. And then we get introduced to one of the main characters of this episode, Fran. Anything I want to add to this? I know there's a lot of different pieces in this scene. What did y'all think about this scene?
First and foremost, Uncle Junior is hilarious. I love people that are just brutally honest. Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to certain things, like when you're expected to do the noble right thing, but you're honestly like, no, I don't feel like doing this shit. It reminds me, if anybody's seen the Mark Twain Award for Dave Chappelle, Jon Stewart told that story. He was like, man, I was about to go see these like Army vets at this one of the hospitals out there. He said, I had some copies of the Daily Show. And said, like, I go in this diner and I see Dave. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm about to go see these vets. Like, I got some Chappelle Show DVDs with me as well. Like, if you come over there, man, it might make that day. You want to come on? And he said, nigga, Dave looked up and said, I'm good. I'm cool. Like, nigga, I'm good. Like, there's something that Jon Stewart even said. He was like, I respected that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is something about that. So Junior being on that, it was a true Junior fashion. Tony couldn't believe they were saying it. I thought you want to pay your respects. He said, "Am I crying to a chuck of marble? The fuck out of here, nigga. I got 5 hours. I'm about to kick it." Nigga said, "I'm going to the after party."
Bro, the after party.
They only give me 5 hours for these things, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, I've never heard a repass called the after party.
Right. You would thought we would have came up with that. That's crazy.
Man. Shout out to Uncle Junior.
Yeah. But we're introduced to an OG Gumar friend, and she says she misses his father sometimes. I wanted to ask, maybe I throw the ball in your court, Spike. Is it foul to say sorry for what happened to your mother being the Gumar?
Is it foul to say sorry what happened to your mother being that she was cheating on?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not foul because I feel like Tony know how this lifestyle goes. Mm-hmm. Tony is not some green, naive dude who thinks, oh, my dad was only fucking with my mother. He knows that he living just like I was living. Even later in the episode, when she asked him about, she didn't say, "Hey, tell me about your wife." She said, "Tell me about your females, like all the women in your life." So I think that she knows how this thing goes. And this was kind of, for Tony, it was a place where he was like, "Oh, okay, this is comfortable for me. Like, I ain't got to act like Carmela's the only one. I ain't got to act like I'm this faithful dude. Like, this, it is what it is." So I think that was part of the attraction for her, excuse me, for Tony to her.
Something exhilarating about talking to a side chick and they know they're a side chick. Like when the lines are drawn, like seriously, when the lines are because there's no as Meta would say, there's no pussyfooting around.
Yeah, let's just put it all the way out there.
Yeah, I know what this is. I know what the situation is, and I'm not ashamed of it. Like it's something that a badge that they might say is like something you should be ashamed of. I'm not. Yeah, like, I know what it is. I knew what role I played in your dad's life, and in my own certain way, I had the same type of relationship as Livia did, if not a better one. Even though I wasn't quote unquote the wife. Like, I was still there during a lot of memorable times. Enough, he fucked with me enough to where I'm at his site, his tombstone on a random day just to come visit him because I miss him sometimes. That was my thought too. It's just a very interesting dynamic that the modern family structure concept you don't think about. Like, and it is a little weird as a viewer. It's me like, and he mentioned this in the Melfi scene, but like my mom right there, but I'm sitting here talking about Gumar, and I think the overall, we'll talk about it as the episode goes along. I think Tony's overall curiosity, as much as I understood it, it was probably one too many visits for me. Like, I'm not about to do this. Like, maybe I'll get some information out of you to learn a little bit more about my dad.
Yeah.
Me personally, as Tony Soprano, I'm going through a divorce. So I want to hear how my dad was with his Gumars. Am I the same? Am I better? Am I worse? Blah, blah, blah. But I don't need to be having coffee with you and doing all this other dumb shit and sharing JFK handkerchiefs. Like, this ain't that. Like, you my daddy slide.
Yeah. I'm with you, Rich. After this right here at the graveyard, it would have been it. Ain't no more like, I ain't pulling up on you. You ain't getting no settlements. Like, none of that shit's happening.
I can't wait till we get to that part because
none of that shit's happening, bro.
Like, yeah, and then she does the classic thing, and this is the worst. She got it off, obviously. Yeah, your dad's Johnny said that if I ever needed something, bro, when people do that, the person is gone now, and they say, "Oh, I'm sure they'll be proud of you. Oh, I'm sure they wouldn't feel that way. Oh, I'm sure." Nigga, you don't know, bro. You don't know what they think now. Look, Johnny is invisible Johnny now. Like, you don't know. You can't tell. Don't come to me telling me my dad said, nigga. Don't come to me saying my dad said. Like, that's crazy because Tony, he has such a thing for like history and how the old days was because they're in at the end and all of that. And she just, I'm jumping out the window to say no. I think that she had probably came here pretty frequently and just was waiting to hopefully catch, him at one of these moments. Like, I'm willing to go that far with it because of how this whole thing was played. Like, because I look at later scenes with Junior's checking obituary, I'm willing to go as far as to think like, oh, I'm coming here and I happen to be at like, this whole thing felt like a setup for me. Like, I think she was a really clever young woman at some point. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I believe she's old. So you see, she ain't nothing going on. She riding around drinking Henny. Like, come on, bro. Yeah.
That's Remy. That's Remy.
Yeah,
some respect. VSOP.
I had to put the black on it. You know what I mean?
But Remy black as shit too.
Still black than the muff. Like,
yeah, man. Remy black.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why you used to stunt in college. In college, if you got the 1738, you was doing something.
Boy,
facts.
Nah,
instead of regular Remy.
Bro, we had the awfulest liquor in college.
Yeah, get that black bottle away from me. This ain't that.
We had never mind. I can't even go there because it's crazy. Too many crazy stories, crazy drunk moments. I can't even.
yeah. Let's steer away from that. Yeah. Keep you on air. But let's. I'm glad you mentioned that, Mo. I'm glad you mentioned that because I was gonna ask y'all how much of this was a finesse. Like, do you think Johnny ever said any of that?
Goddamn thing?
Nope.
Yeah, he's supposed to get a piece of my shit. Like, I don't think he did. But.
We find out she's lying because when we get to the emphysema part. Then the math's not mathing now. When we get to the JFK part, well, just how she said, he's like, "What are you talking about?" My dad had emphysema. He wasn't like, even my mom stopped smoking cigarette. Like, what do you mean he was okay with it? You know, so there's that. Then there's the JFK.
But that made sense to me though. Like, you know, like your main chick, if you're dealing with her, like there's certain stipulations and shit.
You think he was trying to still be fly on the way out?
Yeah, he was still trying to be like crazy. That nigga. Like, I ain't got to worry about the shit. Like, I still that part of it made sense to me.
Nah, I'm dying to still impress you. Is crazy, literally. But I think there's moments.
It adds up though. You could see Tony doing that. I
wouldn't say that.
I could see Tony doing it.
I think he would find a roundabout way to be like, you know, hey, stop that. Like, find a way to get out of there. Like, hey, well, you know what? I got to get out of here. Like, nah, Tony, nah. Nobody, we're not dying on it. Like,
I just can't believe that he was going for all that shit.
I don't think he was. I just think that there's an emptiness in Tony. I think he allowed himself to do this. He knew it was foul, like it wasn't real, but I think he allowed himself to go there because he ain't had nothing else going on, you know. And we'll get deeper into it when we go further down. But we go to the after party, and it's at Vesuvio's again.
He said the after party. This shit crazy.
Yeah, and Junior reveals that he was in love with her, and she's the reason he never got married, and he was going to propose to her but never stepped up. This. I'll throw the ball in your court. I'll share something that I think this should have been used for. But this is a good way to bring significance to a one-off character, I would say. That's the thing that I wanted to say. This little backstory right here with Junior, smart play from Sopranos crew, team, writers, directors. Great.
What backstory?
With Junior, he says that he found out that Tony's like, you know anything about Fran, the Gumar? Right, he says that he was in love with her, and she's the reason he never got married, and he was going to propose to her but never stepped up, and he said he suffered in silence. So that's like, oh, okay, so there was like a real interest. Well, obviously we'll get her side of it at some point, but like in this moment, it's like, okay, wow. So we get a little bit of backstory and a little bit of a significance to her, and then obviously we get that with, you know, Hesh later. So I thought that was a good way to at least make wise this character here. You know what I'm saying? So, but what is there anything that stood out to y'all to the scene? And I'll add something towards the end once y'all respond.
After seeing Many Saints of Newark, it shows how much of a loser that Junior was.
Okay, well, that wasn't where I was going, but you're on the money where I was
for
going.
Me, not for you. For me, it adds to the loser portfolio that Junior has, and it lines up. It lines up.
I just know 1,000% I believed her story.
Okay,
so
that's what really happened. That's what I'm gonna speak to when we get there. But I've said, you're saying that's what I was getting at. Why wasn't this in Many Saints? Well, obviously it's not in Many Saints because David Chase didn't rewatch the series before putting it out, which he spoke to. This is a very good story. All we needed when we see Johnny is one Gumar. Fran would have been the one Gumar. It leads up to Johnny's death. This should have been in there.
Facts.
Like this story, like this episode, we know it's not good, but this story is perfect. Seeing Junior's jealousy, that buildup of how Many Saints end, all that, like Spike talking about Junior being a sucker, like all of this would have been perfect. That could have been one of the through lines. Matter of fact, we don't even need the Tony part. We could just deal with the OG in the mob, and they could have had this Fran character, this young redhead, you know, very attractive woman. That would have been so good. Then it would make this episode probably seem a little better. But man, did they drop the ball on that? Like, it's crazy. But yeah, that's it. And then like Junior was, you know, kind of it seemed like he wanted them to chant him on to sing again, and like we wasn't hearing it.
Hey,
like
man,
there was not.
Talk about not reading the room, not being self-aware, bro. Like my man just lost his wife for 66 years, bro. 66 years he lost his rig. Ain't nobody trying to sing or no shit. This ain't no celebration, bro.
The fuck he asked my man. He asked my man to just bring the guitar.
Yeah, you get a guitar. He said not to this one. Man. Like not to this one, bro. This ain't that. Shit. This is sad. Like this is sad.
That's funny as hell.
Chill out, bro. Nobody want to hear that. Like this ain't Jackie Jr. It's not Jackie Jr.,
is
bro.
crazy.
Yeah.
Facts.
It was 2 years ago, Junior. All right, we're not doing this again. We go to Christopher's AA meeting, and we meet another interesting character, JT, a former TV writer,
JT, man.
which is
former. He's still a TV writer.
Yeah, all right.
Allegedly,
yeah, exactly. But
shout out to Cleveland.
Hey, look. But I will say he is one of my favorite minor characters. I will say that. Like I'll jump out there and say like because of all the
you
stories.
like him or the man from the sports store more.
The sports store. Oh, Davey Scatino?
Yeah, Dave.
I definitely like JT better. Even though they kind of tie the stories together a little bit, right? When we get to a later scene.
Kind of the same.
Yeah, they kind of are. That was wow. Good pull because I was going there. But I would say I like JT a little better. There's something different about his swag to me versus Davey.
JT a dipshit for me.
He is though, but like he knows
JT.
it.
I don't fuck with JT at all. He a dipshit.
But JT knows he is though. He knows he's a douchebag.
You know he a dipshit.
Like yeah, Davey was like, "What? Did I do something to offend you? What, Tony?"
Yeah.
Like he was pissing me off.
Fair point.
JT had a little bit of that this episode.
He did.
It only took JT one time to learn,
bro. Yeah,
Davey was oblivious.
Yes.
JT said,
"Oh yeah." John Shaft.
Oh
like,
no, that's funny.
John Shaft.
Said, these niggas serious.
Oh, they rich. They bad.
These niggas
I'm sorry. I'll go back to what you like. I'm sorry.
Damn, that's funny.
Yeah, bro. They got some. Now you want some act right.
Nigga told them niggas this ain't Pulp Fiction, nigga. I wouldn't know. I ain't seen it.
Yeah, hey, quick.
Stop fucking playing with me, bro.
I can't wait. Like that.
Hey, Chris told that man. Hey, Chris said, "Don't make me into a douchebag.
Don't make me a douchebag.
Don't make me into a jerk off. A jerk off.
Don't make me into a jerk off. Yeah,
jerk off.
I'm not.
Because I'll take it there. Please don't make me do that, bro. Because I kind of fuck with you. Don't make me do that.
Yeah, please. And Chris, this whole angle is funny.
I can't wait till we get there.
Because I know where you.
Why didn't you call me?
Yeah, bro. I can't wait. The complexity of it, though, like that's why that's the good parts of the episode. Is those things like, but we meet JT. And this it's funny they brought it up because I did right. Like it does feel like. The Jon Favreau, this would have been like kind of like the Jon Favreau storyline in a way if it got expounded. And they kind of, to me, it just seemed like they used, we're going to use this character. If we keep Chris close to that kind of writer, that kind of civilian-esque thing, but put him into like the rehabilitations part of it. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as I got a AAA meeting. And obviously Chris knows him. I don't know how he met him. But he calls him out, but he's giving, I
think they met in AAA. They met in AA.
No, they met in Pennsylvania. They met in rehab. If I'm to assume it's the same rehab he went to that Tony sent him to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Now, they specifically said in the show where they sent Tony to. Remember, Patsy followed him.
Yeah. And he was sitting outside.
JT said it was in Pennsylvania. And I can't, for some reason, I don't know why Delaware is in my head of where they sent Chris. But if it's in Pennsylvania, then I'm assuming that's where they met. They definitely met in rehab for sure, though. I just don't know any other rehab stints that Chris had, except for that one. So that's why I'm assuming it was that one.
I think that's fair enough.
Man, hey, listen, when you locked up, you can meet whoever, man. Griselda shit. That's how they met Emery, Jay-Z Mans, doing fair time.
Facts.
Like it's crazy what connections you can make inside.
For real. Shout out to Mitch, man.
That's the ultimate criminal networking ground is in jail.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
When the network as a criminal, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you get to get the enterprise, get the pen working.
Facts.
Mitch met Rico. You know what I'm saying? Mitch met Rico, like you said, Mo.
Facts.
Yeah, man. I hate the Dougie. All right.
Think about that life just like me.
Bro. Anything else to this scene?
Nah.
Okay. But he is doing that thing where like, bro, you making it too enticing right now. Like he was doing the whole fly, like I used to do drug story, like I was living it up. You making it too enticing right now. Cause like you like, yeah, I'm on the writers and I got the coke and I ain't got high now. I switched over to the heroin. Like, hey man, quit making it fly right now, bro. Like
I think he's a writer though. That's his lifestyle. That's what he does.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I was like, man, hey, man,
shit.
I'm about to go. Man, bro, I'm about to. Where's the needle at? Where's the needle at? All right. No disrespect.
Wow. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Man,
my mic don't work. I'm mad my mic don't work right, so I could just so I could address that properly. I can't even address that properly without
I'm sorry.
Let me so self-conscious about the mic. I can't even address your shit, your bullshit properly.
Oh shit.
What I'm trying to say, what I'm saying is, like, when people are trying to make their way, don't like entice it back. Like, you put that reminiscent on it. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, when I was a former weed smoker, bro, I literally was done with it, had no desire, had no nothing. Talking to somebody, me getting back into my stories of like, yeah, and I remember this time, bro, I end up, because I made it so fly and enticing, I found myself back in it. That's why I'm saying it. I'm like, bro, chill out on making it like reminiscing like that. Like, for real.
It's some fly shit, man.
Yeah.
There was a moment in The Wire, if I'm not mistaken, when Bubbles was talking to his sponsor. I don't know why I can't think of my man's names.
The
that's
white
crazy,
dude.
I've seen, white dude.
Yeah, I don't know his name. I know
his name for some reason.
And his story was real. Like, that was a real deal, like, smoker story. He was for real deal junkie. And he was talking about how the dope being lean.
Yeah, but there was a moment when he was talking to him and he was just on some real like warning Bubbles, like, hey man, like, you sound like you ready to go down back that,
like, you trying to jump back out there.
Yeah, Waylon was his name.
Waylon, that's his name.
Yeah, Waylon. But yeah, that's to your point, Mo. Yeah, like, I'm sure that's the thing where it's like, hold on now, you sound like you reminiscing a little too hard.
Yeah, you making it sound a little like man, hey. So anyway, that's what the joke.
Lane story. That's a classic Bubbles moment.
Yeah,
Lane.
So we go to the next scene. It's a Tony and Melfi session, and he talks about Fran and his father. And man, this is one of the low-key funniest moments to me, bruh.
All these Melfi scenes were great.
I'm gonna let y'all jump in before I talk about the funny part of it.
I want to know what's funny about it.
Hey, Mo on one today.
Well, because she says, like, I mean, what do you like? Kind of basically in so many words. So, what do you think about her? Like, you know, what I'm saying, like, you think she hot? Like, what do you know? And in so many words, Tony's just like, I mean, you know, I can kind of like, it ain't that type of thing. I can see her, like, you know, being hot back in the day. She's a, you know, older woman. She's old enough to be my mother. And then he's like, man, don't start with the, you know, having sex with the mother thing again. And then he says,
don't cream your pants,
bro. Don't cream yourself. And then goes further and says, Tony, the banging your mother. He says, have you seen her? She'd be in the house with the house dress on with a hairnet. The conversation will be over in 2 seconds. Why did he even go down the steps of saying the conversation would have been over in 2 seconds? There's no conversation. Like, I was crying laughing, bro.
Because I think that Dr. Melfi's on to something, regardless if Tony's never going to see it, but he is on to something in regards to, there's some unresolved issues with your mom, even if it's not this or something there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can always tell when somebody starts over-explaining himself. To your point, Mo, like, he started going down like, oh, if you would have seen her in the house dress and the thing, the conversation would have, you know, the thought would have been over in 2 minutes. Like, bro, why are you even taking it there?
Bro.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't even got to do that. You're oversharing now. You're doing too much. Like, that's why it's hilarious. But that's why there's a part of it that's still a little bit there. And it's something that Tony's working through in real time. This whole episode it's juxtaposed, even though we are meeting Fran, it really is juxtaposed against his relationship with his mom. Like, Livy is prominent in this episode, you know, even though she's not here.
She is.
Whether it's a younger version, whether it's her by the gravesite, she's always mentioned this therapy session. Tony, even though we're far removed from Livia even being a character or active character in the season, her presence is still affecting Tony's day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good way for Dr. Melfi to be like, look, man, like, I know I've seen what this has been like. You probably never won't be able to dive deep into this conversation. But I just want to remind you that this is still affecting you today.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm sorry. That was funny to me. Anything you want to add to that, Spike?
Tony, yeah, that's a weird situation.
No, I think that was perfect.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah. What he said? What Rich said was perfect.
Okay. We go to the next scene. It's Chris and JT. They get a bite to eat. They're having some small talk or whatever. And JT seems to be he has a little bit of an antsiness about him, and he leaves. And Chris gives him this look. My only question is, what was that look about that Chris gave him?
He thought he was using.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he thought he was using heroin.
Mm.
It wasn't no anything else to the fact of, hey, we friends and yeah, I fuck with you, but I still think you getting down, and he wouldn't.
On top of that, when you compound that, Spike is exactly right. But when you compound that with, I just told you that I had some wine. I opened up to you. And now I'm trying to see how close we really are. Like now you bullshit me in my head. All right, bet. Like now I can't really fully trust you if some shit really going down because you're not even bought into the program. You're not being honest. He 100% thought he was using.
Facts.
When the last time y'all had IHOP?
I had it this year.
It's been years.
It's been a while.
I've had Waffle House before I had IHOP.
Yeah, IHOP.
Well, you in Atlanta, nigga. There's a Waffle House in
Atlanta. Yeah, it's one on every street corner, literally.
There's more Waffle House than gas stations.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Rich.
Yeah, it's been a grip. I mean, it ain't been a grip, but like way earlier this year, probably February or something. But
y'all opposed to IHOP? It's not frowned upon, is it?
No, it's just.
No, it's not
you used to work there. Mo used to work there.
I sure did. Yeah. I almost fought my brother.
It's not frowned upon. I just haven't thought about going. There's so many breakfast options now.
Yeah.
And as you get older, your breakfast spots aren't the chains. You know, I don't really find myself going to Denny's or IHOP.
Not the chains.
So would y'all rather have Cracker Barrel, IHOP, or Waffle House?
Waffle House.
I had Waffle House like a couple times. I didn't like it. I ain't been a
Waffle House, Cracker Barrel, IHOP. But Cracker Barrel, man, you get that little
Cracker Barrel fire, bro.
It is, but you get that nice little percentage of that racism. Like it ain't there, but the presence.
The presence, you like that?
You can have the nicest waiter, you can have the nicest waiter or waitress, but there's something about the presence of being there feels like my ancestors didn't enjoy this.
You know where you at? Yeah. That's fact. Cracker Barrel breakfast be fire though.
Yeah, shit is. Them potatoes with the little shit, like man, them shit's slapping.
And the pancakes.
I ain't been to Cracker Barrel now. That I ain't been there in years. I don't. Every time I go there and I look and I see what's going on, I immediately turn around every time. Every time. Like I can't get past the parking lot. I can't get past the parking lot. I look, but yeah. We go to a small scene. Junior looks at the obituary. He looks in the newspaper, and Junior sets up a way to get another funeral attendance engagement with his attorney. I don't really got nothing else to add to that.
I wonder. Obviously, I'm sure this happens in real life, and that's where they got the inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious how often this happens.
Mm-hmm.
Old man on house arrest. I can only leave for certain things, man. I'm about to find a way to go. I'm about to find a way to get out this creek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder who that black dude was in the lawyer's office.
the random black. I do wonder.
Yeah,
like,
I
what
know.
he had going on.
How's he even? He must be a drug. He got to be a drug dealer.
I don't know.
He might be a music dude.
He might be a music dude.
Maybe a music. He got to have some money though.
Because he got the jewelry. He got the rapper jewelry on.
Facts.
He got to have some money because Junior acknowledges like worth every freaking penny. Versus earlier seasons, like, man, you know how much you charged me for a phone call and the paperwork and
there's a classic briefcase on the desk. It ain't open, but the classic briefcase, the good old "I need you to clean this money" briefcase that we've seen in plenty of episodes. And he got the Carolina Tar Heel hat on, man. Shout out to the Tar Heels.
Yeah, shout out to the Tar Heels. Shout out to
it's always random, like this random black dude. He just let you. I think they just put that there to let you know what kind of lawyer he is.
Right.
Yeah.
If you didn't get it by Junior, like I work with all gangsters.
Oh, he's like the dude from the Wire. The dude that was in the.
I was just about to say
the classic scene where
Levy. Yeah, Levy.
Yeah,
Levy bum ass. I slap Levy in his mouth.
Yeah, Levy is crazy.
Levy ain't shit,
man.
Levy ain't shit, man.
So we go to the next scene. Tony's at Friend's house and he's looking at pictures. We see a young picture of Friend. I said, "All right, Friend, I see what time you was on, you know." And then Tony sees a picture of her son Bruce and his dog Pippi.
I could have sworn. I thought that Tippy. I could have sworn. I thought that was John Lennon.
Bruh,
it looked like him.
Looked like John Lennon.
It definitely looked like him.
So
y'all ever? I'm sorry, real quick. Y'all ever had chicken Cuban style with the black beans? I ain't never heard of that in my life.
No.
She said she was.
I was in Puerto Rico and I had that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had that in Puerto Rico. It was fire too.
Okay, then bet. I'm always down for new cuisine. I'd never heard of that.
When she said that, I was like, damn, I've ordered that before. Yeah, but definitely in Puerto Rico. It's one of those style dishes for them. Like,
they still be eating boots if we didn't give my cuisine. Call back to season 1. But it's so funny to me, like how subtle it is where she's in the kitchen and she's talking to him and he's looking at the pictures and she's like, sure, you know, like, oh, you know, she's doing the general sure if you want and everything. Tony says, like, who's the picture? Who's this dog? And he's like, yeah, that's my son. He married an Israel girl. She's a food service director. So everything is all good. He's like, no, the dog. And she said, oh, Freckles. So that's strike number 1. And she's still smiling, pointing the knife like, yeah, you know, your dad gave it to us. He's like, what? And then how quickly she backpedals into like her face is like, oh, that wasn't a good idea. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen the Seinfeld episode where Jerry was on stage and he had the colorful hacky suspenders on or whatever, and like Kramer was there and Kramer was laughing extra hard and nobody was. It's like, ha ha. Then he stopped. He's like, oh, tough crowd. Like, that was one of these moments where Fran was looking like, oh, that's not funny. Bro, the way Tony is stuck on this is so freaking hilarious. What's that phrase you use, Rich, where you say you came in as a grown man?
You said what?
That's the phrase you use. You came in as a grown man, you left as an 8-year-old. So like,
oh yeah, man. He's 37 showing up as a 7-year-old.
Bro, it's like, excuse me, I'm sorry. Man. This was my dog. Like,
like it's I gotta give, I don't know. So we don't talk about this aspect enough, maybe, on this show. The acting perspective of this. The depths that you have to go as Jim Gandolfini to imagine, to draw some inspiration that the inner child in you is just now finding out at this grown age, this big age, as we say, that your dad gave your dog. He told you a whole different story, and you found out he really gave it to a side piece and her son. And
it lived for 10 years after that.
Yeah, and after you thought he had worms and had to, get gassed. Or whatever the case was, go up to the farm.
Facts.
Just the look on his face when he's locking in, because he's still smiling about the young picture of her, and you see it on his face, like, oh, what's this? Like, before I jump out the window, let me make sure that's my dog. And she say something about ketchup, and then he double check, like, the fact that you ain't answer me, now I know for sure. That's my fucking dog. That's my fucking dog. And he's so hurt. Like, he's really, I thought Tony was gonna cry. Like,
it was it was one of the most hurt that he's been in all of the scenes in this season.
The dog got a whole new name, Freckles. Hey, man, come on, your dog got a whole new life. He was a gift from your dad. Like, bro, what? He said what?
Bruh, your dad did a Davy Scantino when he took his son's car. Just flat out like, yeah, all right, give me this.
Facts.
Hey, like,
that's a good pull, man.
He definitely did a David Scantino. Just like, oh yeah, now you know what? Yeah, I'm taking this dog. Yeah, you got to put him down, bro. What?
And she tried to start talking about her son, and he was like, man, fuck all that.
Yeah,
man. I don't give a fuck about your son, bro. This is my dog.
This is my dog.
Yeah, man, his name is Tippy. This is my fucking dog,
bro. Like, and then it's like.
And he caught himself like, excuse me, man, like, my bad,
bro. He still was stuck, like he had his hands on his waist. Yeah, he still was just like,
just breathe, both. Think about it. Both his parents are gone, so he's really like he's stuck with it. He's saying this to them, but he can't. Like, he wants some answers. Like, y'all played me. Y'all really played me. Like, damn, like, my dog was around the corner.
He couldn't believe that shit, bro. He was shell shocked.
Yeah. his mind was blown at the fact it's like what?
Pops, you could have told me the truth and let me go visit him. I can't believe and another person got to enjoy my dog. And of course, the underlying
for
thing
10
of this,
years.
Yeah. The underlying part of this is he ends up blaming Livia. Once again, these mother themes are weaved throughout the episode. But this is an incredible moment, not just of entertainment, but just of acting. Like Tony is beside himself.
Facts.
Like, he can't believe it. The way he keeps looking.
Bro,
at
that's
that
what I'm saying. His hand was on his waist, and he still was just like stuck.
He couldn't believe it,
bro.
Could not believe it, bro.
It's for our black listeners. It's like the Martin scene where Gina borrowed money from Cole, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I borrowed money. You was in the shower, so I borrowed money from Cole." And they kept moving on, and he's still stuck. So why didn't you come get me out the shower? I would have told you I didn't have it. I would have asked Cole, could I borrow it? I would have gave it to you. But like he was still stuck there. Like they had been moved past that. Like that exactly where Tony was. Like he's stuck, bro. For real. Like, so yeah, man, that was funny. And then like how quickly she's like, "Oh, I didn't know your dad didn't say it," like, cause she can't mess up her finesse. Yeah, so immediately, like that's what she got to kind of fall back into, like, oh, you know. But she gonna do some really egregious stuff later in this episode. Another thing I want to call out here is we see a young photo of them. We see Hesh. That's in the picture. I don't know how they be doing this. I always wonder how shows do this when they like find old photos and put them together. But we see a picture of Hesh, and she says he was a whore and he was cheap, and he cheated her out of her retirement check.
He's a whore master.
A whore master.
Whore master and cheap.
And cheap. They always, again, that's a racist thing. Like again,
yeah, of course,
they just have to do this. Like, we know what that is. So we find out more about it. So Phil, Hesh, and Johnny own the business together, the racing. Then she does the thing again. Johnny told me again because his father can't speak from the grave. So it's ridiculous. Anything you want to add to that part of it? That part of it with the photo and the whole Hesh part of it? And
no, the biggest thing is we already touched on a little bit was going to be asking you whether or not you thought this was a finesse or part of her long game, because it is pretty clever when somebody asks you what do you need and you say nothing. Mm-hmm. You kind of let them buy in a little bit, like, oh no, she got it going for herself, and then later on you can start talking about what it is I really need, which is, hey, I'm just dropping this out there, because she did it in a way which is actually on brand for someone who was a Gumar back in that era. Mm-hmm. Like it was on brand for her to know the game, and I know how to move in and out. I know how to get what I want, and because I can't, I'm as a lifelong Gumar, I've never been in the position to directly ask for what I need. So I always had to learn how to finesse my way into getting this, that, and the third. Your pops, all he brought me was flowers and lingerie. Like anything else I needed, I had to kind of sweet talk my way in or perform services. So she see Tony's interested, y'all into it. She does the whole, don't get me started, I don't want to talk about it. She does every single trick in the book that you need to get Tony invested in this, crusade. Which, if I'm Tony, I got 1,500 for you, 2,000, whatever the case is. I ain't going through all this work. I ain't going through all this work for this, man. Hell no. Like, we ain't doing this. I'm sorry about you, but that's the point. Like Spike said, man, like maybe this one visit, but I'm still pissed about this dog, man. Fuck y'all. I'm out.
Yeah. Yes. There's so many moments of he could have just bowed out.
Let this shit go, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This episode might drop down.
Now he connected to his dad, man. Like this is a connection to his pops. Yeah. His pops, according to the tombstone, passed in '86. We're in the early 2000s. Like somebody he didn't know. Like damn, like I said, those old world war stories. It's like hanging out with, your grandparents and just hearing a story about what was my parents like as a kid. Mm-hmm. All that kind of stuff. It's just I think that's part of it, that connection, because that's the only thing I could see him even being fascinated enough. Because oh, you was my dad's side? Okay, then cool. Nice meeting. Be cool. Maybe I'll see you here again one day at the tombstone. I don't want nothing else to do with you.
I definitely agree with you, Rich. Like, yeah, maybe there's this little conversation that we could have about you and my dad, and that's cool, but I ain't investing all of this time that Tony did with her to make this like, oh, I gotta do something for her, or I gotta make sure that she's right off the stuff that was promised to her from my dad. Like, bro, I don't care about none of that. I'm in and I'm out. I got what she was trying to get from my dad, and I'm cool.
Yeah. So we go to the next scene. Tony and Fran ride out. Fran, when she told her side of the story, this sounds like the truth when we talking about Junior, because he brings it up to kind of validate or to confirm what the Junior story. Because one thing you can count on for anybody listening is a woman that isn't interested in a guy is going to keep it 1,000% honest. Right. And I believe there's moments where Fran is lying. There's moments where Fran's telling the truth. And I feel like we can decipher which moment she's lying and which one she isn't. That, to me, she says he used to stalk her, skulk outside of her building, and make weird phone calls at crazy hours of the night. And she think he snitched to Livia about them. Y'all think she's telling the truth?
Yep.
100%.
Based off what we've seen from the many Saints of Newark, yes, absolutely.
1,000%.
See, but they treat many Saints like it's not canon. Like I never know how we're supposed to treat it because the way they backpedaled on it.
And I think that's what makes it even more concrete is you said David Chaston watched this shit again and then do the mini Saints of Newark. He did that off the top of his dome. And he still
felt like Junior was that.
Yeah, he still had the same idea of Junior regardless of revisiting this. And we still as fans looking like, okay, Junior a piece of shit.
Man, great point. What a pull. That was a good flip right there. I didn't see that one coming. Goodness gracious. That was crazy right there.
Junior definitely would have had a weird case.
Why is he around?
Yeah, sure,
yeah, he was on something else, boy. He was Insta stalking before it was a thing.
And just real quick about this car ride. Fran, man, stop bringing my mom up.
I was about to say that's strike number one.
Tony, you doing so much, bro? Like, what are you doing, bro?
Why are you around?
Like, at the end of the day, regardless of how I felt about my mom, that was still my mom, so you were still participating in the bullshit.
Like, I don't want to hear that.
And don't call my mom a handsome woman,
bro. That was the wildest.
Handsome woman is crazy.
She said she was a handsome woman.
Insane.
Like the shade level is crazy. You know, bruh.
Like she was shading the hell out of Livia.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I seen her once. She was dressed like a refugee, like all types. She was shading us.
See, that's how you treat a man. That's how you treat a man in power. Like, bro,
yeah, man,
she was getting off. I was like, Fran is one of the ones back then. But you know what? It's crazy she's saying that, but when you look at that young photo, you see her. This is like what looks like the 50s.
It makes sense.
You see her, it's like she's one of them young, like you would have seen on TV. Got the red hair, so she got that fiery feistiness. She probably really, I get to it. I can pull whoever I want to pull.
Fran said I pulled JFK, nigga. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why she like that. She's still, I got the president, bro. Like he said, I need to strip search you. You know what I'm saying? I need to see what's going on. So Fran only speaking like that because she knew how she got to it back in them days. You know what I'm saying?
Chopped off the president like my name Nancy Reagan. That's what Fran up here talking about.
Boy, seriously, come get his legacy out of my house. That's crazy. But yeah, that handsome woman is ridiculous. But
I do like that line though. Like when she said, "What's that? This is one for the road." It looks like road to me.
Yeah, that is definitely.
That was kind of clever.
Yeah, he's in for it. He's like, all right, let me hit that name. You know, it was pretty potent.
This is which is still. I don't know, man. Maybe I got some more living to do. Maybe I got some more growing up to do because I'm looking at this car ride like hell. I'm not doing this.
I don't know.
Sitting here drinking with you, sharing stories. You call my mama handsome. I'm like, get the fuck out of my way, man. I got shit to do.
That's because Tony is still. He don't realize he's still like mad at Livia.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
he's still mad at Livia, and I think he's even more mad. You know how people get mad. I'm mad that you left me. So not only am I mad because of how you did me all my life, I'm mad that you left me, and we never really got to. Like you were going to snitch on me, and before for the plane tickets, and then right before that you end up dying. So I'm mad that you left me, and I'm mad at how you did me. But I'm mad I don't never get the chance to for whatever reason I wanted to do things while you were alive. So he's still mad. So he's letting it ride, but you'll start to see it starting to annoy him. Like you'll start to see throughout the episode, it's going to annoy him a little bit. But they go to the racetrack and they talk about his wife and Gumar, and he kind of gives a little details. I don't really got nothing to add to the scene. I'm imagining this is the racetrack that Hash, Phil, and his dad went into. Again, I don't know how true. I mean, there's some truth to her story, so I would still give her that. But we go over to JT and Chris work out, and is JT lying here about actually he went out on a date or whatever he was talking about? He had an engagement. He wasn't doing the drugs.
I felt like he was telling the truth. Yeah, I felt like he was telling the truth. There wasn't any kind of activity that led to me think that he was actually out. Even the way he discussed things with Chris at IHOP, like made me think like, oh, he in his right state of mind. I think he really got somewhere to be. Now he got a gambling addiction, as we see, but he's not using. But that's a different form of it. It's still
it's just connected to it.
Yeah. I'm a Rich. I think he definitely wouldn't. I don't think that he was going to use as he was trying to leave the spot that him and Chris was at. It was just more so I'm dedicated to whatever I got going on, and I'm really pushing this. I don't think that he was like had some other shit going on.
Okay.
I will say this: in true gangster form, Chris saw an opening.
Yes.
Chris saw an opening and he took it. We talked about this in past episodes with Tony and Davey. This is what we do. This is how we make our bread.
That's how I make my money, bro.
Looking for action, man. I got you. What's up? At the worst case scenario. I'm taking your shit.
I got you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is you a compulsive gambler and I just take all your bread.
Well, Artie said it best, didn't he? He said he told Tony. He said, I'm not jealous of you. I envy you. Like that whole thing of like you knew this would happen. If push come to shove, you'll keep eating free at Vesuvio's.
It's lunch. This free smoke. And Chris could have made a decision. What's more important? Having somebody that I can really be sober with and like have that accountability with, because it's like anything else. It's no different than dating a woman, right? Once I cross this line, things will never be the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things will never be the same. If I cross this line, we'll probably never get back to this organic, platonic friendship. Like things have changed now. No matter how awkward we act and how much we try to act like they ain't, it is. It's changed. Chris is like, shit, if we cross this line, if you get in the jam and you owe me bread, bro, I can't look at you as, oh, this is my sponsor, this is my man's. Nah, bro. We see that later in the episode. That's what makes some of that shit so funny.
Yeah. Good point. We get Fran and Tony again, and Tony notices that Fran has some class about her. And then we also notice that the racetrack is for sale. This is a part of what seems like if she hadn't been coming to the funeral thing, then her knowing about the track and being around her dad, seeing that for sale sign up, that could have been like, oh, I knew this already. And maybe she got in position for it. You know, I don't know. So
this is too much.
It's too much.
I'm Tony. I ain't got time, bro. I ain't walking arm locked hand in hand with you over the property to review. Oh, this is you might have gotten a cut from this if my dad like bro, get out of my face, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't doing none of this shit with you. It was way too much.
This episode just makes Tony look like a simp. And that's the issue. Like he just looks like a simp. Tony we've never got that from him. And he looks like a simp. Like this is nothing about his behavior. Like he's not going this hard for this stranger. Like even with people like, hey, I donated this over here for this, or I took care of this guy in the hospital, whatever. It's like, bro, he's not going this far for it. Like, because
you're right, Mo.
He looked like a simp. That's why we can't buy into it.
A lot of season 5 is for us as the fans to try to believe Tony to be other than what he is. Simp, or maybe too hard on people, or whatever the concept they want us to believe that he's not what he really is. I think a lot of season 5 has to do with that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, they lost Hesh, They didn't have the villain, and
Feach.
now we got to make. Yeah, excuse me. They lost Feach, and he wasn't a villain. So now we looked at it like, okay, what is Tony?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do a really good job of writing out what Tony was.
Yeah. The season 5, I'll talk more to it when we do a back of the bean where we rank the seasons, because it's spoiler alert, it's definitely at one of the lowest. It always was for me. But it is, while it is one of the lowest, it's one of the ones that I can almost remember every episode when I see the name. Like I could look at any other season. I may not remember what it was about just in the title, but I could look at Sentimental Education. Oh, that's the one with Carmela and the teacher. I could look at Irregular Around the Margins. Oh, that's the one with Tony and Adriana. I could two Tonys. Oh, that's the thing about season 5 that makes it so weird, because the other side of it, I could look at every name and I remember what it's about. Marco Polo. Oh, I ain't gonna spoil it here, but like, oh, that's the barbecue, and that's the other thing about season 5. Like, everything feels standalone, which is probably a good thing and a bad thing. But yeah.
Oh shit! I just realized something.
Mm-hmm.
This next scene, maybe she was telling the truth.
Oh, there was some truth.
The meeting would have never happened if she wasn't telling the truth about that. Or was the meeting more so geared toward Tony? We'll talk about it. Let's talk about this scene.
Okay. Well, Tony and Hesh, they talk, and Tony wants his share, and he makes a valid point, and Hesh respects it. Like, pretty much, he's like, you know what? Yeah. Then Hesh says something about her rubs him the wrong way. I just want to keep track of that, because I want to figure out what's the thing that rubs the wrong way. And he says, well, maybe you wanted her, and Hesh, pretty much says he liked black women. And we see in that old photo that she had, it was a black woman right there. Hesh is a sicko. Like, you rob black artists, and then Hesh is sick. Like, I hate this dude.
Oh, it was, man. Shit, what do you think?
Nasty.
The former presidents of this country, man, the type of work they was doing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Thomas Jefferson. Not for real a shout out, but look up some more of the story.
So-called niggas.
Man. See who he was hitting in. Shit, wild, man.
Yeah,
anyway,
man. But I can't stand Hesh though. I'm just
that's how it works.
So yeah, but Tony pretty much gets it off and say, "Hey, yo, get that." But Hesh made a good point too, but he couldn't backpedal out of that. Like, he was just like, I'm the one that been paying the taxes, keeping the thing up, doing this, doing that, doing all that, whatever. But he got his cut, and that was a great move from Tony's. Fran looked at almost like Fran knew, I may not get whatever the portion is, but I'm gonna get something, just because I brought some information.
Which made me realize, I'm like, even though it wasn't directly mentioned by Hesh, because if I'm Hesh, and Sopranos is very intentional about their writing, you would have thought, like, she lying. Like, I gave her, but Tess admitted, I gave her $500, which was a lot more than anybody else did. Hesh would have never gave her that money had something not been owed. He knew something about something. Mm-hmm. Right? He knew Johnny mentioned it in passing. Maybe there was not even a discussion about what the amount is. So how much of this she's getting, but she does get something of this. And that's why Hesh gave that money up front and chalked it up to, like, well, shit, I did more than the next man. Anytime you do the most, even if it's the least, like, you can always poke your chest out a little bit and brag about it. And Tony, like you said, Tony had a right, man. Y'all some slime balls, because y'all knew, like, even if she didn't get hers, I never got mine. Like, I'm his son. I'm the heir. I'm supposed to get a piece of that. Somebody's supposed to break me off. And I'm just not finding out about this because of a random encounter with this Gumar. If I never met her, y'all would have took this money, sold this lot, split this bread up, it would have been a day. So y'all filed for that. You was my father's friend and my friends. But outside of all of that, Hesh brought up the fact that we're such good friends, how come I never see you? Was that more a guilt trip trying to spin the conversation, or do you think Hesh is really on some, like, I'm tired of you posing around? Because this is something I think we all go through with life.
Facts.
Some people necessarily realize you think they're friends, and you might categorize them as friends, but they ain't really friends. They're somebody who's around when you need them.
Yeah.
And Tony even hesitates trying to answer the question. I talk to you, at 2 a.m. when you need some advice. But I feel that we've all been Hesh too. Like, bro, I'm not about to be the nigga that you just be hitting up on some, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that? Like, I always need a favor. Like, nah, bro, are we friends or not? Is this a genuine? Are we both being served by this relationship? Because if not, we can drop the front. I just thought it was an interesting time to bring up that topic. And I didn't know if it was defense mechanism or if it was more so like this is how I really feel.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
How dare you come in my crib asking for money? Yeah. Like you hype up about it.
Yeah, I think Hesh was just I don't think so. I think Hesh, it's all about money for Hesh. Like I don't think he really liked Tony. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how he felt about Johnny for real, but I definitely don't think he liked Tony. And we get the sentiment later down in the series. I think he's just using this to try to like ease the blow. I mean, you came to me asking for money season 1 from Junior to get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all about money with Hesh. So yeah, and we'll see some later things in the series where we'll see how hard he go for his dollar, the rent, or whatnot.
The rent.
The next thing we got Junior's lawyer calls, or Junior calls his lawyer for more funeral time. Basically, gets it set up, and we see Junior get dressed. Whatever, bro. Like whatever. Like this is terrible, man. I'm sorry. This is not better than 93% of TV. Well, I guess we have to see what's the 7% because this is not good. It's not good.
What I'm saying, but hold on, you're worth every fucking cent. This is better than a lot of television.
It is,
even if it's not 93, it's better than 85.
That's true. I mean,
80%.
Yeah, you're right. It is better than a lot of television, but this is really bad. I'm sorry. Like everybody knows this is not. That's why it's in the bottom. It's like
most shows they don't even have enough fortitude to build up a world deep enough to even have a story like this to where we know these characters and we're invested in some of the storyline shit.
Yeah.
Not caping for it. Like not saying obviously.
I know what you mean.
I do admit this is a bottom. This is
there's
a bottom
quality
tier
still.
Episode. Yeah, this is one of the 4 worst episodes of Sopranos in my opinion. But still, it's still through watching a lot of TV, you're like, damn, some of this shit sucks.
So I'm gonna have to go back and watch A Hit Is a Hit.
It's the sequence. I think the reason why we don't like a lot of these because it doesn't fit in the sequence of the rest of the series and the seasons.
It's not in the Sopranos world. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I know these people. It's almost like in real life, like we know actors are actors.
Yeah.
So it's no issue to see Denzel Washington in one thing and to see him in another. Like that's who it is. That's how this feels in a little bit. It's like a show within a show. Like I know, except for instead of we look at the actors, we look at the characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at Junior Soprano as Junior Soprano, and it's like Junior Soprano playing in another show. Like Junior Soprano popped up in Seinfeld or something like that. It's like I know this guy, but he's in the wrong show.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
So that's what it kind of reminds me of.
Like Steve Buscemi.
You ain't letting my man Steve live.
Yeah, I got smoke for you still. Nah, man, yeah, I don't know, man.
Hey, man, Shorty on the stage at the Bing.
Hold on, So, all right, let's JT and Chris. Let me take it back a little bit. I might have missed something here. Maybe this episode is great. Now that Rick's just putting it together there.
Yeah, you go to the 22-minute mark, 22:03, 22:02.
All right, we. Amato.
Shorty on the stage at the Bing. Coming up.
Yeah, she might be up there with the nurse that was in season 1 with Jackie Singer, like on the random, like, oh, hey, yo, baby, what are you doing? Like when Tony set him up, you know what I mean? She might be up there with But anyway, yeah. So pretty much,
this nigga JT called that man Don Provolone. Come on, stop playing with me, bro.
See again, but they get the energy back to the guys. Like they get the energy back. So I respect it. I need that Bada Bing shirt that your boy got on. What's his name behind the bar? Georgie. I need one of them Bada Bing shirts, man.
They definitely sell those.
Yeah,
I've seen those around.
They do sell them. Yeah. Hey, if y'all listening, y'all can send them to us, man. goodearnerpod@gmail.com. We'll set it up. We'll wear your merch on the show. Any of y'all, if y'all got some Soprano merch, we'll wear it on the show. Well, I'll wear it on the show. Let me speak for myself. These guys, they'll,
I'll wear it.
All right, yeah.
I'll definitely wear it.
All right, cool. So, anyways, but pretty much Chris is struggling still, but he's trying. It's pretty much all I get from this interaction. Anything y'all get from this Bada Bing meeting with JT?
I never understood if Chris was really telling the truth or not, if he was really playing the long game. we don't see, like, the show does a good job, or they take us into Chris's breakdowns, his relapse. And I'm wondering if he's like, man, do I have enough? Like, he already won, so he's feeling good. I'm giving him this money. Do I have enough to keep him around? I don't know. Maybe I could be bugging, but I've never really known Chris to smoke weed. Early seasons, yeah.
Facts.
So it's just weird that he just wanted to randomly smoke weed. Like, when you in the hard shit like Chris, that shit don't even really do nothing.
Yeah, that ain't even. We ain't even settling on that.
I don't know. Like I said, I just don't know. I just never knew what Chris was. But I don't think Chris is. I don't know if Chris would lie about something like that.
Yeah.
You know, people who are, you know, working on their sobriety, they tend to be very honest when it comes to that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
We get to the sit down, and oh man, Phil tells Tony, "You have some balls, kid. I'll give you that much." And Tony responds with what arguably is the best line of the episode. "You give me what I tell you. This ain't the 70s, and I'm not a kid." And he says, "Hey, it's a figure of speech." You know what he say? It's a. What do you say? Is it a figure of speech? What do you say? Exactly, because the way, here's another, Tony replies with a slick line. He said it's an expression.
it's an expression. Yeah.
He said, here's another expression. And all I wanted to say is just that I love how Tony responded, because like Feeks tried to hit me with this. I'm sorry, I still see you as a kid. I'm tired of you niggas that came out of the pen and y'all want to talk to me any kind of way, bro. I'm not a kid, nigga. Now, you ain't giving me nothing. You're not giving me no break.
This ain't the 70s.
Yeah, this ain't the 70s, nigga. Like, you're not giving me a break. You're not doing me no favors. I am the boss. But even funnier, after Tony gets it off, like, hey, calm down. I ain't no calm down, nigga. I'm telling you, I'm not the kid. I'm not who y'all think. I'm totally different. Like, I will murk you niggas for real. Like, I'm not who y'all. I'm not a kid, bro. Stop playing with me. Like, I got more than balls. I'm the boss of Jersey. But the funny part of that is, I mean, Jersey. Come on.
Jersey, come on.
It's Jersey.
Right. I love people that shake up. I love people that shake up the room, and then after somebody leaves, they the ones that look like, I don't want to say play the victim.
Yeah,
but that was out of line. Like, nigga, I know I said some shit, but I ain't take it there. He took it there.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right.
I think that, I wonder if that was a little homage to Goodfellas, because we all know Frank Vincent played Billy Batts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole "this ain't the 70s." I don't shine shoes no more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just one of those things that I just noticed.
It could be. They're known to do things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's still crazy. Again, Tony's doing all this for a bird, for an old bird that was his dad's.
That's
bird.
What's wild.
Like, this is all for a bird. You're having to sit down with New York, bro. The mob, like the lineage of New York mobsters, bro. You're doing all of. Come on, bro.
I will say this. I do love the fact that there is, you know, we've seen Johnny Sack and the Wait talk about some we've been more rules in the Catholic Church. There is still some honor, even though we at the end. Like, regardless of how old it is, there is no statute of limitations. If you have a valid claim to something and you're owed that, we got to make sure we make that right.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that it really wasn't even hesitation. Like, Tony gets 150, and that's what it is. He gets 25% for you, 75% for him, and that's the end of it.
And it's funny too, like Jersey, come on. Like, they treated Jersey like it was the Toronto Raptors being added to the NBA back in the day. Like,
they treated that shit like the Vancouver Grizzlies.
Like the Vancouver Grizzlies. Like, I mean, it's Vancouver, bro. Like, that's how they treat it, dude. It's crazy. But yeah, that was a great line. Great scene. Again, we get Tony back at Friend's house, and she says that she was with JFK for a moment in 61. I don't know, bro. So this number 2, we had crazy passion, something your mother never understood. This number 3, I saw Olivia dressed on New Year's Eve, dressed like a refugee. All right.
Wow, man. That shit wild.
Spike Lou, you still here, man? I want you're gonna be looking crazy on the tube, bro. You might want to turn the screen off.
I'm still here. I'm waiting on what you gonna ask for this.
Well, all right. Well, what do you think about this scene, Tony visits? I want you looking crazy. I can't modify that. Nah, seriously. what do you think about this scene? Tony goes back to her house again, pretty much saying, I got the plans in motion, and she talks about the JFK thing. We don't get the cringe scene yet, but you know, she brings out the cloth and everything and tells a story about her and JFK or whatever.
It's doing too much. It's doing a lot in the sense of Tony Soprano is a person we're following. This is a person that we attach allegiance to in this in this series.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's latching on to her like, oh, she's my dad loved her and I want to know what she got going on. Like, bro, we don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care about none of that stuff that you got going on. And I think that they're doubling down way too hard as far as the showrunners, as far as the people that are doing this episode is like, nah, we don't care about her.
Yeah. I'm sorry. This is the worst episode. I stand correct. This is worse than Christopher.
Of the whole series?
Yeah, this is worse than Christopher. I'm sorry.
There's so many good moments in here for me to say that. I'm sorry.
This is worse than Christopher because
the shit with Phil makes this a lot better than
it helps.
And Chris and JT, them two storylines. That's what saves.
But they are like they're barely hanging on when you talk about all of the Fran and Tony visits. Like this is like draining the soul out of this. Like I'm like, bro, I can't.
But
this is like Golden Girls. Like what?
It's still so much gold in the other stuff, though.
God, bro, this is.
No, you're right though, Mo. Like this is.
It is draining.
To contrast, what's good about this episode? This is some of the worst Soprano work. I mean, as far as just her character.
Because even unbelievable as it was for Silvio. And you know, Patsy and Artie to be going to a riot because they wanted Christopher Columbus Day and they wanted that parade to still happen or whatever. It's still funny though. Like it's ridiculous because it's like all of a sudden y'all care about something like we talked about. All of a sudden y'all won't be political or the Sopranos, but still it's funny and it's ridiculous. But this is I don't know. But I just wish those other scenes was wrapped into a different episode. But let me try to get us through this here so we can kind of give our overall. Yeah, that's pretty much on that scene. We go to the card game. JT is losing. I don't have nothing else to add to that.
Getting his ass whooped in poker, man.
Okay.
Chris got him where you want him.
Facts. We go to the next scene. Tony's mashing Valentina's potatoes. He is sick for seeing a dog picture and then turning up on the Kung Pao. Like, bro, this will get you turned.
Yep. I mean, they got angry again.
I don't know that. I never found it effective. I don't know. Maybe it's just a personal thing. I just never found it effective. I'm angry. Let me really turn up. I don't know. I never. That's a new for me. Maybe I'm alone. Maybe I'm Prince.
It's a mindset. It's a mindset.
Yeah, you're right. It's a mindset. Facts. So yeah. But anything I want to add between them scenes of him losing at the card game or Tony and Valentina?
Nope.
Nah.
Okay. We go Junior and Bobby. Bobby tells Junior a friend's kid died in the jacuzzi, 7 years old. All I want to say is that was just really sad, bro. Like I have a daughter that's 9. Like I'm like, bro, die, like your child, you go out and your child is dead in the jacuzzi. That's crazy. That's sad. It's a passing thought, but goodness gracious, was it sad. And then of course Junior calls his attorney again. They just giving us this super lackluster, lazy, let's find a C plot or B plot. I don't know which plot this is. It's like, oh, let's just keep getting Junior out the house. Like this, y'all could throw this whole episode in the trash. Nothing changes about The Sopranos. Nothing. This is one episode. This, like all them 4 episodes, you could probably get rid of, and you're good. Like it doesn't change anything. It creates great memes in this era, but like, all right. Anyway, I'll get into that more at the end. But like, it's just like let's get Junior back there again. Let's get Junior back out there again. Let's just Junior. What is this? Like, who cares? Like, we don't care that Junior trying to get out of the house. Like, we're not. Junior, they should have brought the love interest back or something more interesting. Like Junior being stuck in the house, we don't care. Like we need to pick. Are we gonna focus on his health and his memory? Are we gonna focus on him getting out the house and house arrest? Like we need to. I don't get it. Or we should have had.
If you're gonna lie to me, tell me there's a broad outside in the car waiting to tongue my balls.
Tongue my balls. Like, or you should have somehow Fran and Junior should have met. That would have been more interesting. Like some kind of way.
Not a creep. That'd turn into an episode of You.
I mean, bruh, like maybe Junior acts like he lost his memory. He's trying to creep up on Fran, like something, anything else. Like this is whack, bro. I'm sorry. This is not good. Like it's not good, y'all. Like y'all know it. This ain't new. This show came out so long ago, but it's just not good. Like this C plot is like I could have just stuck with. Anyways, man, I don't want.
All right, Mo. I'm about to say Mo.
Right, bro. All right. I'm about to get us out of here. Watch this. Watch what I do. Watch this, because I
just got pissed off.
Yeah, because I'm like, bro, I'm getting pissed. Like, get me out of here. Like, it's like sitting in traffic. Like, get me the hell out of here. All right, so let's get through it. The card game, pretty much, we get the fake Davey Scantino storyline all over again with JT. I didn't like it.
Love it. Let's go.
What did y'all think about it? What did y'all think about it? Because I'm about to get my Ray P on. Like, I'm trying to keep it PG, but like, hey. What did y'all think about this?
Yeah, I know my favorite album. I know Mo and Spike know, but for those who don't know, Turned Up Mo is my favorite version of Mo, man. When Mo turned that button on, when you hit that button, he just go up.
I'm sorry.
I kind of want to let you go off, but I see it in your face, like you about to go in the ring.
Yeah, because I'm trying to hold it.
It's like when you tell your boy, man, it ain't even worth it, man. Don't even do it. The only thing I want to say about this scene, really, to your point, Mo, yes, this is the same Davey storyline. It is lazy, recycled writing. Even with the whole Feach Lamana, we're a few episodes past that. You should have some ground that you covered with that. Or like you said, Mo, you can really delete this episode. This episode did nothing to accelerate. However, it did lay down some plot lines, even though they're small. And I think introducing this character of JT, even though he's a minor character, he does come back and he is somebody you remember. Mm-hmm. There's also a character in this scene at the card game that's very minor, but you will remember him later on, named Bert. He's playing at the table. Bert Gervasi is Carlos' cousin. Yep. Mm-hmm. We see him one more time when Sylvia pulls up and pays him a visit in later seasons. But yeah, that's all I got to say, man. We obviously know that JT lost all his money. To Vito specifically, Vito just is a good earner no matter what he does, whether it's the hustle, the racket, or whether it's cards. Like, he always just seemed to put money in his pockets. And Chris is like, damn, you owe $57,000. Like, bruh, like this is what it is. This is the beginning. Yep. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm gonna charge you juice and all that shit, bro. This shit ain't sweet no more. Like, I'm letting you know.
Yeah.
Same thing, Rich.
Same thing's Rich. Okay. Yep. I did like the line here, and this is arguably best line of the episode. Don't give me that look. This is your problem, and I will not enable you.
That was great. That was great, so Chris.
Yeah,
that was
I will
great.
Not. Yeah,
that's the stuff that saved this episode for me. Like Chris and JT, even Junior, not the Junior funeral hopping, but Junior at the beginning talking about something. I only got 5 hours. I ain't going here.
Yeah,
and Phil. Those are the things that I can't. That's why I can't put it at the exact bottom.
Facts.
Columbus doesn't have moments like that, except for the car ride at the very end. I don't want to belabor the point, though, because I know how you feel. I'm just saying personally. That's why I don't put it down. And JT's so casual about the shit, lighting up a cigarette, bro. You owe $57,000, my nigga.
The Davey Scantino, same thing all over. But of course, they try to get clever here. He smokes a cigarette, and we transition to Tony smoking a cigar. Obviously, that was probably really innovative at the time. I ain't gonna discredit that, but it's just because this episode's so bad, I don't care for it. But Tony chases Phil down. Phil having ice cream and running is hilarious.
Nothing. I was just about to say, there's nothing like the surprise pull up. I wasn't even expecting to run into you. I just happened to be driving down the street, and is that the red caddy? Is that?
I know that who I think it is.
This nigga getting ice cream.
Big boy.
I know that. Snow cone and you owe me bread. I ain't heard nothing from you, Playboy.
See,
what's up?
That's funny,
bro. I'm pulling up like I'm walking them down, but here and it's so good. Like Tony being about his money, being about standing on business. But here's the problem again. What are you doing this for? You're doing this for a bird.
we talked about this.
Nah, at this point, it's principle. At this point, it's principle.
I think we talked about this. We talked about this in the sense of them thinking Feach was going to be the big bad villain in this season. Since Feach is not the big bad villain, now they have to build up Phil or whoever else it may be to be the big bad villain.
Now let me mention this. This goes to your point, Mo, about some things not being realistic. It's almost like your Tony beef. I don't see Phil going for this.
What?
I don't see Phil going for this.
Like not paying?
Phil's not running. Like not even about not paying. Like Phil has a smart ass remark, whatever. I'm not even saying Tony can't get the upper hand on Phil and there might be a physical altercation, whatever the case may be. Phil ignoring Tony, going straight to his car, getting chased by Tony.
That was crazy.
There's nothing about that, even in the future episodes, that gives me the idea that Phil would be on it.
Facts.
Well,
Phil would probably rather tell you SMD, get out my face. You know
Facts.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Like it just seemed like something that
it was cartoonish, like throwing the ice cream out, like, oh, he's gonna slip on a banana peel. Like it was.
Now maybe, and if you're just now watching the show, right? If this is your first watch, then maybe that's a little bit on me because I know what happens between Tony and Phil and the tension with them, and Phil don't handle it that way. Like Phil ain't playing no game. You come to the house, bro. You can't even see me. I'm talking to you. You don't even know where I'm at in the crib. Telling you to get the fuck out my law yard. Like I done made you come over here just to not meet with you. Like Phil just does petty things. I can see him ignoring him and still getting in the car and pulling off, but the sense of fear almost that Phil had, I just didn't seem believable.
I would only, I do think the fear was a little turned up a little bit. Maybe it's the way he played it, but I think that he just didn't really respect Tony. Like he's still like, Jersey, come on. So I think when he seen Tony pull up and then you see like his stature, you know, you like, oh,
That's
hey,
but Phil ain't no sucker, man.
He disrespected him all the way to the point that he got to the car. Like he wasn't even listening to him.
Nah, bro.
Like, I ain't trying to hear nothing you got.
And he still had his ice cream. Like still had the ice cream.
Hey y'all,
nigga, I slapped that ice cream out your hand. Nigga.
Hey, do you know how mad? You know how mad I would be
Facts.
if I pulled up on somebody and they literally acted like I wasn't there.
That's why Tony was so heated. Like, bro, I'm gonna let you crash. And that's the part I felt was a little off brain. Was like,
hey, facts, Rich. Like you trying to act like you don't even hear me, bro.
Like now you really pissing me off because I know you hear me.
Yeah, facts.
Like you're not even looking at me. You're not making eye contact until I know this car started up. I can pull off and I'm gonna look at you and say, I gotta meet John in New York.
My man said I gotta read.
Nah, bro, I ain't doing that. But I will say, even like I said, I know we talk about what we don't like about the episode. Even this car crash sets up a funny moment throughout the Sopranos with Phil trying to get this car fixed.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Like going full speed. Like he wasn't even trying to bump Tony. He was just driving full speed. Like I'm like, bro, you just gonna like I don't know. It was It was very entertaining, very funny, but it was.
Wait, what do you mean?
He was like full speed. Like he went almost into the van full speed. I'm like, feel like it was so cartoony to be like he looking at Tony still doing like you're not even bumping him. Like, bro, nigga, let me over. Like I'm not. He just going straight full speed, hands up like this, threw the ice cream out. He didn't try to even get over. I'm like, what is that? Like that part. At least bump Tony. Tony bump you last minute and you get hit. It was just like he went straight into it. I'm like I felt like I needed to hear that clown. He was like, like I needed to because it was so goofy.
Mister,
but it was,
you okay in there?
Yeah, that was grabbing a nigga by his head.
I called the cops.
Yeah, I was there.
Asshole. You think I'm some kind of asshole?
Stop playing with me.
And I think the only thing I let Phil slide with, like I said, the chasing part is because Phil knows he's wrong. We talk about honor. Like Phil know he in the wrong. He know he owe that bread, and I know I ain't got it. It just would seem more in line for Phil to be like, man, fuck you. I'll give you that bread when I give it to you. I'm out. I gotta go meet Johnny Sack.
Yeah.
Handle it how you want to handle it, because you ain't about to shoot me. We both made men.
Yeah, we made men with that. Yeah, we knew it was never getting there. That's why it worked so well.
You still need the bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would. I would expect Phil to treat it like Paulie and Chris. Like when Paulie and Chris had their shit, man. Fuck, man. I'll give you this shit when I give it to you. Man. Get the fuck out of my face.
Tear up your landscape. We get pretty much this unknown funeral.
That shit's wild. I can't wait till we get there.
I know, yeah. Boy, you got me hot already thinking about it.
Oh nah, a made man would have died.
Yeah.
You playing too much now.
Man.
Yeah. Chris comes to get his money, and we see a correlation between Chris and Tony getting their money. That's what they're trying to tie the storylines together. Obviously, he's saying, man, I don't got the money. I'm about to get this deal. Dick Wolf, yada, yada, blah, blah. And Chris pretty much tell him, like, hey, man, I'm coming back in 24 hours. You better have that grip, bro.
Hey, real quick, you skipped over Junior at that funeral. You got the mama. Okay, my fault.
No, go ahead. You want to add to it?
Nah, just because the mama's sitting there crying. Like, once again, Junior not reading the room. This nigga eating, talking about we just got here. Bro, you see how sad this shit is? A 7-year-old just died. Like, the mama's holding her son's picture, crying hysterically, bro. Let's go. Bobby, like, let's go, bro. Like, what you doing? We just got here. Like, come on, Junior, you tripping.
Yeah,
that's all I wanted to say about it. It's just it's so wild that I got to comment, but it's on brand to his character.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris popped up on this nigga and said, I know you in there. I see your shadow through the people.
Yeah, come on.
Ducking me? You ducking me, nigga?
24 hours. Like, you got 24 hours. Wait, you know. Then we get Tony and Fran at Vesuvio's, and she didn't spend the money on the phone bill, but she got some old ass heels, and she puts her
Mo had to catch himself. Mo, hey man, Mo trying to get up out of here, man. Mo tired. He said, Mo said, "Hey,
I was about to go somewhere."
Hey,
I said, "Let me just relax."
Mo said, "Don't make me a jerk off."
Please, because that's exactly how I was like. All right, she pulls the leg up with the stockings, and I just smell like old people house. Like immediately, like when I see her leg go up, I just remember old people houses, an old great aunt, like that smell. Anyways, yeah, I mean, she got her some heels or whatever. I don't know what else to add to that scene.
All I gotta say, just in the life perspective of it, there is something about her saying, like, it's been so long since I've been able to treat myself. Like, not all of us are going to be able to be like making money the same way you make it at a certain age. No different than when NBA players go broke, because you ain't getting them type of game checks every day of your life. Like, that's a certain period of time. If you don't invest it properly, you can easily go downhill. If your lifestyle is too extravagant, not that the average person doesn't get 18 million a month or whatever some of these max contracts are. Like, it just doesn't happen. And even when it does happen, it's only for a certain time span. So that is something that I resonate, like, always make me think, like, man, make sure you take care of your bread, take care of your chicken, like Marshawn Lynch says.
Yeah.
Because I don't ever want to be in that position where I'm in my 60s or 70s. Oh, I can't treat myself like I used to. At that point, like, what we doing then?
Right.
Like, if we living, I want to live how I live.
Facts.
Chris pulls back up on JT, and Chris immediately gets to beating ass. For real. Yeah. Stop playing. How did you have a good night's rest? That's the thing I gotta ask. You had a good night's rest, and you were still like, "Yeah, man, I told you, like, I don't have it right." Like,
he was bullshit.
Yeah,
he was bullshit.
I love when people on action on site. As soon as that door opened, Chris said, "So, like, no pleasantries, no nothing." They can say, "Good morning to you too." You think this still a game?
Yep.
Oh, there's nothing you could do to me that's never been done. Oh yeah.
He said, "You got it." He said, "You a trip." Like, he started trying to like, "Oh, damn, you really on that?" Then introduce himself. I'm JT, by the way. Put his hand out, like, "Bruh, this ain't full fit. Am I supposed to be afraid?" He said, like, nigga, you think there's anything that you can do that I haven't done? I'm sure we can think of something.
Yeah,
I'm sure we can think of something. Like,
bro, he hit him with
the glass
for
frame. That shit was hilarious.
Right. The fact that Chris knows this guy, he gives him a straight to the nose, like
straight right.
Like, Chris is for real in this thing now.
Yeah,
he's for real in the thing now. Like, he's really on
57 bands. Like, yeah, bro, I told you, it's never the same. Like, once you cross this, it's a wrap.
This is what I do.
I guess they were trying to make Chris kind of be like Tony from season 2 with Davey. Like, I knew you were desperate. I knew you were gonna need it. I knew this was going this way. So we go to another funeral with Junior. This is obviously just really unhealthy to keep going to these places of sadness, and Junior breaks down. I can't take this anymore. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, that's what happened when you go to 5 funerals in a 2-week span.
Pretty much. JT, he goes to the pawn shop and he brings in his Emmy. The dude offers him $15. And obviously we know from famous stories, this is them poking fun at the Emmys, David Chase and them. But I found it funny how, bro, you used to come in with like 18, you come in with like 10 video games and they be like, hey, they look at your games, check out the disc and everything. They say, yeah, I can give you $20. Nigga, $20 for my games, for 10 games? Bro, I remember them days. Like, bro, I used to hate it. Freaking. Anyways, but yeah, so he ends up trying to make a play, comes up with his first money, and he gives it to Lil Paulie. And Lil Paulie comes to Chris. He pretty much hands it off to him. And then he finds out JT's back using. And Chris is upset about it. Why. All right. Chris is upset about it.
This fucking guy.
Right.
Right.
Fran and Tony drinking at her house. Tony gives her the $250,000. The clothes, I can't. This just does not make sense for Tony, bro.
Hey man, Mo is so frustrated. I love it.
Because I'm trying to give it, like, even when I watched it, I wasn't like, me going through it in review is different. When I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, this, all right, because I knew it was bad. But like going through it and reviewing, I'm like, bro, what is this? Like, what is this? Why am I here right now? Why am I around? Because let me just get us through here. All right, we're gonna put these few things together because I can't. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I don't know how else to do this, and I ain't got it in me.
But what do you have to say about his? My fault, Mo. I know you don't want to talk.
No, you good. You good.
What do you have to say about the whole? Well, I guess we talked about it earlier.
What?
Her still getting cigarettes. We talked about it earlier.
Well, no, that. I mean, I guess, yeah, maybe like you said, talk about earlier. Like, I don't know, like Spike said, like maybe he still was trying to look a certain way on his way out the door, like still like, oh, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good, go ahead. Like something like that, or maybe, but I don't know. Like it, again, these are just signs like she's a bird. She was no good.
You gotta acknowledge the song. You gotta acknowledge it. The cringiest moment in Sopranos history.
Oh my God.
Like Steve Buscemi directed this episode, and he instructed the actor who played Fran to look directly in the camera, kind of break the fourth wall. He wanted the viewers to feel as cringeworthy as it was meant to be. Like, I want y'all to cringe when this happens. Like how Tony's face is, that's how I am. I'm sure that's how both of y'all were. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
No,
stop this.
Please. Because it's now you think it, and this may not be within my world. You think now, oh, I have the new finesse. Now I have the sun, and you think you're sexy right now. No. Like you think I don't see your wrinkles. You think I don't see your neck. Yeah. You think I don't see your elbows. Like I see you. I'm lit out here, and now you're doing it, Mr. President. And you're stretching.
My goodness,
None of that.
Stop that shit. Don't do that. I might have told her straight to her face, like, stop that shit. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Take my hat off. Take my hat off.
Like he said in the restaurant, take your hat off.
Yeah. Straight up, man. We're not doing none of that.
Hey, Rich right though.
Like
that shit cringe.
Bro, because she got into this whole performance like she swore that like I don't know what she was trying to get across. Was she trying to make him believe, oh yeah, you was hot, you was popping back then, or was it like, oh, there's a moment I'm getting attention?
Care.
Like
I don't even care how you were popping. Like
she did bro. She did the point, and then she like starts. Oh,
yeah, man, stop, man. Yeah, stop all this shit. I've seen this episode. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this. Like this episode, like I watched Sopranos at least 5-6 times. I've seen this episode countless times. Probably watched Sopranos more than that. Either way, every single time I still cringe. Like, bro, what the fuck are we doing?
And I ain't gonna even lie, bro. It's something about it's cringe, but it's kind of scary. Like she looks scary. I'm sorry. It's something about like I think the age part of it, like how directly in the camera, it's a little scary a little bit. I'm like, hey, it's just weird, kind of like you could chop this into like a horror moment with some music and it'll fit like, oh, this is weird than a mug right now. Like, yeah. So this is the
you trying to look
cringiness.
sexy? Like,
That's what I'm
them
saying,
days gone.
bro.
Them days
Like,
gone.
bro,
I respect your hustle back in the day. I respect the jokes.
I respect the OGism.
This ain't that.
But you got stockings on. You got stockings on, bro. Like let's keep it. You got come on, and they ain't even like these are. I'm sorry, pantyhose. Should I say pantyhose? Is that proper? Like,
no, it's just funny the fact
and
that
they're brown. Like you have brown ones on. These are not like the black see through. Like you super washed. Like, yeah. All right. Anyway, that's enough I can do on that. But Tony's face.
Yeah, Tony's face is exactly how all of us are at home.
Because now she feel like she owe him something. You got me the 250 grand. So this is why I don't understand.
It did give me some Boomerang Lady Eloise vibes.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
It did.
That's what I'm saying.
Marcus.
Bruh, that's exactly what I'm getting at. And Tony's face of disgust. It's like, Tony, everything in your mind, in your conscience is telling you, no, do not give her the money. Every time you turn around, she's dissing your mom. She's doing crazy stuff. She's a bird. Get out of there. But that moment was like, all right, I got to get the hell out of here. So, but anyways, man, I could spend more time on that's probably few more scenes. JT and Chris talk. Pretty much JT is using again, and Chris has a way to be able to separate the life versus the perk, like unlike JT, which Chris is familiar with this. So it's hitting different for Chris because he's in his life all the time. He sees the dirty side, the rough side of things, which is how they make their beans, but at the same time, you got to be sober. Anything y'all want to add to this scene with JT and Chris?
Well, one of the funniest moments, indirect funniest moments when they talk about the sobriety and just said it straight up, like, why you ain't call your sponsor? I couldn't get a hold of. Why the fuck didn't you call me? And that look, that JT give him, like, are you kidding me?
Bruh.
Like, look at my face. Look at my apartment. My apartment butt ass naked. Because I got to spawn all my shit off to pay you. And this nigga Chris just gave the arm up. Whatever, nigga. Like,
facts.
Man.
I love that moment.
Yeah, that was really good. We get Tony and Melfi. This obviously is one of the best flashbacks. We find out that Olivia was pregnant after Barbara. It's a crazy story. I just want to ask y'all, have y'all ever been in a position to have to lie for one of your parents to the other parent?
Nah. J. Cole got a song about this on his second album called Never Told. That's kind of similar to this.
I definitely had to do this before. Yeah. It's terrible. It's
not a position that your kids should be.
It's very gut wrenching. That's why it resonated so much when I seen Tony's face. Like, it resonated so much because it's like, bro, what am I doing? But you don't know the code. Like, you don't know which way to go with it. So, but I definitely had to do that before.
And I gotta make you look at your pot. And hold on, real quick. I know you want to get up out of here, but this whole scene is just very interesting. This is your mom almost dying. Your pops being not around, but unavailable. And you find out later, like, look, mom's almost died, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
As a son, as young Tony, that gotta make you look at your pops. No matter how hard or how much you revere him, you got to look at him a little bit sideways, like, bro, what the fuck is you on? Like, I get you got your women and shit, but number one rule to this shit is always take care of home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, home got to come first. I know Spike uses the phrase from Friends all the time, nigga. But I ain't going to nobody nothing if me and my wife beefing. I don't care, the house on fire. I'm dying, nigga. I ain't leaving.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain things that, like, I'm going to play around. I'm going to do my dirt. You going to know about my dirt. I ain't trying to hide it, but I'm going to make sure you good always.
Yeah.
That make Johnny... And it's unfair because we don't get a ton of time with Johnny. It makes you look at Johnny funny in the light. Like, damn, bro, that's what you want. And when you get the news, you don't even bounce.
Yeah.
She got lamb or duck or whatever she was cooking there. I'm tied up. I'm gonna get to the hospital right away. And you pull your son into it to lie. But even after all that, all this dirtbag, slime bag shit, Tony still was like, man, fuck her. Talking about his mom. Like, fuck her.
Yeah.
I still don't care. Like, it's still her fault. And that's just, like I said, this episode is it's just as much about Olivia as it is Tony, as it is Johnny and Fran and all that stuff.
That's true.
So I just thought that's a very interesting flashback to what you said. And the fact that he still has that anger towards Livia, even though I just went through the whole example of Johnny being a scumbag. And in a sense, it's kind of who Tony is. That's where he picked up on all this from. It's okay to do this shit.
Still holding on to the idea of your father, or holding on to this idea of your parent. And you know what I mean? Like, you still holding on, like you start finding out info on your parent for real. It's like, oh, you're not who I thought you were. And you don't know how to take it. And he still like now I don't want to feel stupid for believing in you in a certain way, because I found out now you're not who I thought you were. That's a hard thing as a child with your parent. You're not who I thought you were. Come on, man. So that it does resonate. And it definitely felt like AJ. Like the way Johnny was lying. Yeah, I was at the game. And I was at the, come on, tell him, Tony. Like that whole thing, it definitely felt like how AJ just smooth, just be lying through his teeth, you know.
Tony way too smart to even get AJ involved in his lies. He knows the fuck. He knows fuck. If I gotta get AJ involved, I might as well tell the truth.
Pretty much. Chris takes JT to a sponsor, and Chris takes his whip, and which was $17,000 off of what he owes. And JT in awe how Chris can do this.
No chemical solution to a spiritual problem. I always remember that.
That's a good quote.
Nigga said, I love this car. Well, you'll buy another one.
Yeah.
That
he's a weird position to be in. Like, Janice, Junior, and Tony go to the doctor, and Junior's basically in the dumps. And then Tony's at the Bing, and Tony embellishes about Fran to the boys at the Bings, and this is just such a weird flex. I don't know. I don't really got nothing. So between them scenes, this Chris taking JT to the sponsor, Janice Jr. and Tony at the doctors, and Tony at the Bing telling the story about Fran being his dad's Gumar. Anything y'all want to add to those?
You said the point earlier when you, in regard to Junior, like, bro, or just Spike might have said it, bro. You spending all your time at funerals. Of course you sad as shit. Like, that's not a normal thing to be doing. Like, every day, damn near, like, just to get out the house, that's your only social time is at funerals. Like, nah, this ain't cool.
Yeah.
And then that was a weird flex. But, you know, you got to stun. It's Pops, man. And Pops was out here pulling.
Yeah,
you know,
I get it.
Legend in the street. First ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'd have rather been quiet, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, now you realize how much you went through all of that stuff for, so now you got to save face. Because you're looking goofy. You're like a simp. And that's our episode. So before we get out of here, I think we can probably consensus on what the ranking is. But just for the sake of
category.
You said I got a new category?
You got a new ranking for yours, probably. This ain't just another envelope. This is a light envelope. This shit light.
Damn near, bro. This might be, bro. This ain't an envelope. This is pocket change. This is
Mo hate this shit.
I'm the biggest hater. I hate this episode. It was even worse doing it.
It's tough. It's a tough.
I'm sorry. It's
to discuss in the long form.
Yeah, that's
like
what
we
makes
do,
it.
It's tough. It's tough.
Spike Lou, how do you rank this episode?
A very light envelope.
Okay, got it. Just another envelope. Simple enough. Rich.
We trips, bro. It's just another.
Yeah, we know. It's just another envelope, and I hate to even give it that. It's really pocket change. It's the quarters of your cup holder, but.
Hey, remember that? Remember in chasing it when Tony picked up the quarters and rubbed them.
Man, this is that.
That's what this is.
This is quarters of your couch for real, but
it's a joke. What happened to that sense of humor?
Yeah, exactly. Spike,
where's that sense of humor of yours?
Man, who gets the good earner chain for you this week, Spike?
The good earner chain for me this week goes to shit.
Who took the W this week? You want to come back?
Yes.
Okay, Rich.
It gotta go to Chris. Chris got a new Beamer.
I got the obvious answer.
Yeah, I was trying to stay away from that. Chris got the new Beamer. Yeah. He still got more payments set up, and he was a good friend for sobriety. Hey, I was able to separate this shit. I got you linked up with your sponsor. I pushed you to go to rehab.
Mine is Chris.
Like,
definitely. Mine is Chris.
I gotta go, Fran. You just came up on $250,000 $250,000
It was 150.
Oh, 150. Okay. Still, off of embellishing on Johnny said, hey, bro, come on.
She probably blew that 150 faster than Tony B blew that 12K.
Facts. Oh, that's a fact. That's facts. Who gets the broken balls award? Who took the biggest L this week, Spike?
The viewers.
Yeah, damn near.
Yeah, the viewers.
My time.
That's a good one. Phil.
Oh, good one. Yeah, Phil. Like, boy, that car accident looked crazy.
Facts.
What about you, Rich?
JT is a little too easy. I'm gonna go with Tony.
Oh, Tony's there.
I'm gonna give Tony, man. Just because you chasing this whole episode, some shit that don't even really concern you, and you don't even realize how many wounds you're reopening and how much unresolved shit that you have with your parents and your mom, the anger that's still built up. All of that is here and it's prevalent from start to finish. And we've talked about it before, so I won't belabor the point. Season 5 is just a completely different Tony. He's not Tony Soprano in this episode. He is, but he ain't. Mm-hmm. He's not mob boss Tony Soprano. He turned into 16, 17-year-old Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
This episode. So Tony, man.
My broken balls is Livia. Like, she's still catching strays. Like, you catching strays from the Gumar. Like, Mike.
Your mother was a handsome woman.
Bro, like,
handsome.
Prince outlived Mike. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, like, she's catching strays from the grave. It's crazy. So I got to go Livia, like, just off of that. What's your favorite line of the episode, Spike Lou?
Jersey.
That come on, like,
facts.
Damn.
That's what you had, that Jersey.
That's my line. That's my line.
That's the one that I had with Phil. When Phil was talking about Jersey not being the crew.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my one.
I mean, the lines before was heat though, too. You know.
Yeah, the lines before. All right, so I got the quote right here. So, the lines before was fire. This whole scene, in my opinion, was fire.
Yeah.
It starts with Phil saying that was out of line. Philly, he's a boss. Jersey, you can say Jersey. Come on, huh? That's my line specifically for me.
Yeah,
I picked that as a line of the episode.
That's it for me.
Yeah, and just that Jersey. Come on, huh? Just that. That's the line of the episode for me, mainly because that simple line sets up so much for the rest of the series and how someone like Phil Leotardo and I'm sure others in New York view this pick-me thing that we get out in Jersey. Right? It just said so much about what we're about to see in the remaining 20-plus episodes of this show.
Yep.
30, however many episodes we got left out.
It was between. Almost went with "Don't give me that look." This is your problem, and I will not enable you. But I gotta go with that same scene. But I'm going with "You'll give me what I tell you." This ain't the 70s. Like, I love when people do that. Like, bro, old folks talking about back in my day, nigga. This is my day. Like, I love when people do that. Like, bro, hey, keep it moving, grandpa. Like, OG, watch out. Like, I love that. So yeah, that's let me get that. You'll give me what I tell you. Yeah, I ain't no kid, which again ties back to the Feach thing. And lastly, Spike Lou. What's your favorite moment of the episode?
When Tony was telling Phil, you gotta be fucked up. It's not the 70s. Okay. I'm here, and
So the line that I had is the scene that you have.
Facts.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's the sit down. Gotcha. What about you, Rich? Your favorite scene?
The combination of Chris and JT from the moment in the actual hotel room to where he laid down the guidelines of what this is. You're gonna owe me 2 points every week. That scene combined with him coming over, like, hey man, you ducking me? To I'm gonna come over tomorrow, don't make me a jerk off. To him and Paulie coming this time. Now I got backup, even though I don't need it. Like, bro, you thought all of this was a game. All of everything you took between them two, because this is how the process works. I know we saw it already with the Davey situation, but I loved it just as much then. And this is a little bit different because JT knows he fucked up. And like I said, Davey went into the whole Fed situation. We gonna see JT again. JT gonna come out of rehab and he gonna pop up again. And his whole character and what happened, all of that. Him and Chris together, just a good combination. I just thought it was hilarious. Chris trying to play both sides and really not understanding how old dude couldn't do it. JT couldn't do it.
I guess I go with the opening scene. I like Tony and Janice like piecing it up. I like that sibling, you know. I did like that. That was really good to me. It's probably not the best scene. I mean, the car chase could have been up there as well, but I go with that. That's probably the one that kind of sat with me the most. And before all of this egregious things started happening in this episode, like that, it had me anticipating something really good. So, Tony and Janice, you know, mending the relationship. And that is our episode of Good Earners reviewing The Sopranos. If y'all want to reach out to us, goodearnerpod@gmail.com, or y'all can hit us up on Instagram, goodearnerpod_Sopranos. We will read your emails on air. If y'all have questions or anything, y'all want to DM us by any means, we are comfortable with it. Hopefully you guys feel welcome here. Hopefully this is your favorite Sopranos pod, and y'all continue to come back every week. We thank y'all for tuning in, and remember, don't forget about it.